Apparently we're on. God, I'm in control. What's happening? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the best show in the universe, probably. Yeah, we are joined by some wonderful, lovely people today. So we have the Mega Geek, we have Vex back again to demonetize the stream, we have Bagface, who when he has his camera working, we have the wonderful Baggage Claim, and we have the lovely MatKat 83 from Geek with us this evening.
And he's frozen again.
Is he frozen?
Yeah.
It's either he's frozen or he's having a stroke. Can you raise
out too hard?
Like a really
raise
long
both
blink.
arms?
Oh, and he's gone.
This is the kind of professional start that everyone comes for. Like we're going for 30 seconds, and we've already had someone freezing and disappearing.
That's right.
Yeah, well, welcome anyway. I'm sure he'll be back at some point. We have some things to be talking about today as well. I don't know. We were discussing in the back room what to start with, and it came up with no resolution, which is great. So I reckon something that everyone probably has an opinion about, we can kick off with Disney Plus, since that's also first in the title. I believe the news at the moment is that it has lost a further 4 million subscribers. That's on top of the 1 million loss that it suffered for the first time. I think was that Q4 last year. So things are not looking particularly. Was it 2 million?
I think so.
Last reported, 2
that
million.
was the Indian cricket rights problem in the first place, but it doesn't seem to have got any better for them. So, let's kick off with Disney's travails. Why does Disney Plus suck? Far away.
The content they're putting out there, for one.
Everybody knows why it sucks.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really short conversation, isn't it?
Let's just say Peter Pan did its work on Disney Plus. That's for sure.
Well,
Yeah, well, that was always the interesting thing I thought about because the take that it was, we've lost 2 people. Jesus, what's going on? Yeah, the take about the IPL stuff, obviously losing subscribers because they didn't have Indian cricket anymore, was interesting to note at the time. But I always thought the other interesting thing to note was that Disney Plus is also not giving those people content that's like encouraged them to stay. So like ideally you bring people in with this big recognizable property, but you also give them other things that might prompt them to stick around even once they've lost that property. And they don't seem to have done that. Is there anything anyone is aware of coming up on Disney Plus that might change their fortunes?
Agatha's coming out, but I don't think that's going to change anything.
Oh shit, is that still happening?
Yeah, that's still
Yeah.
happening. I'm pretty sure it's in post-production, so they're done filming because it's supposed to come out, if not this year, the beginning of next year.
Okay. Is
Secret
anyone...
Invasion comes out next month too.
Oh, yes, of
Oh, it
course.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
Is
that's
anyone
good.
is anyone actually looking forward to Agatha? I for the moment I couldn't remember who the hell she was, and then I remembered, it's WandaVision, that one.
It's
No.
what's the girl with the blank face? What's her name?
With the blank face?
The blank Audrey Plaza. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I don't care
I like
for her
her.
much.
Is she gonna be in it?
Yeah, she's Agatha. She's the main character.
What?
So
No. She's the
No.
villain. She's the villain.
Oh, she's the villain? Okay,
Yeah.
who's the main character then?
Okay.
It's Agatha.
Played
She was the
by...
villain. She was the
Well,
villain
it should
in
be like
WandaVision.
Catherine something, right?
Yeah,
the actress?
it's Catherine Hahn. Yeah,
There we
she's
go.
playing Agatha, and she's teaching Wiccan. Hi, she's teaching Wiccan like the ways of the witchery and everything. So but he's supposed to be Wiccan, but that's like hush hush. They're like not saying anything. But yeah, and then the rumor is that Aubrey Plaza is playing a version of Mephisto, but we all know how Mephisto rumors go. So.
Right.
How do Mephisto rumors go? Sorry, I'm out of the loop on that one.
Oh well, when the first show, WandaVision showed up, everybody was all like, "Oh, Ralph Boner is Mephisto." That actor, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Yes, and he's Mephisto, and then all these rumors started flying around, and then people started guessing, and then the actors started lying and everything, and so it ended up being there's no Mephisto, and the show was not very good, but yeah.
It sucked.
It
I
did
still
suck.
have yet to see one Disney Plus show.
Don't do it. Turn back, Sarah.
Oh, dear.
So yeah.
There's really nothing to see on Disney, really. Let's face it. There really isn't. And when they do cough something up, it's all full of women bosses and all the men being put down and all that crap. So, no wonder why millions are actually tuning out of the channel, because that's what they're doing. It's obvious what they're doing now. I think it's really obvious now. So,
Yeah.
what can you do, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it
I was
wasn't- sorry. No, you go.
Oh,
you
sorry.
go.
I was scrolling through Netflix just looking for a new show, and I came across this show called You Don't Know Me, and immediately I was just ready that it's going to be, the same kind of like woke writing that we've been kind of seeing all over the place. But instead, it ended up being a really good show, and you know, the main character, who's the guy, is like totally manly and able to, try to protect the women in his life, and there's like all this stuff that it's like it sounds bonkers that we don't get to see that anymore. And I was like, what is this I'm feeling? I'm feeling genuine appreciation and emotion about a TV show. It's like, where's this feeling been? Yeah.
I remember what those
Highly
feelings
recommend
feel like.
it.
Just vaguely remember them. Highly recommend.
We're not
Well,
dead inside yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
No, well, we might be soon. So I was just looking up the things that are coming up on Disney Plus to see if there was any sort of reprieve in the offing. The answer is no, obviously. But for this year, what have we got with the Muppets Mayhem? That's a big
the
draw.
Muppets, they're back.
Apparently,
Oh, I
they're
love
back.
the Muppets.
I
yeah,
like
one
the old Muppet Show.
I love the Muppets.
We've lost someone again. Oh well.
Yeah, no,
It's,
MatKat, we've lost Nerd.
Spider-Man: Homecoming apparently is coming back to Disney Plus. That's May 12th.
It left?
Venom
It
is
was
coming
never
onto-
here in the U.S. at all.
Was it not? Oh, well, in which case it's coming. Yeah, that's coming on May. Venom, because everyone's really excited. Ant-Man: Quantumania. Most of these, of course, are just cinematic releases now being put on Disney Plus. Originals, though, you've got Secret Invasion is June, Ahsoka is August, Echo in the summer at some point, apparently. Yeah.
I'm waving at the chat in case.
Every time you wave, I'm going to come on and wave. Stop that.
I'm sorry. I want the chat to feel acknowledged.
They are acknowledged. Hello, chat. Loki. Does anyone want to see Loki or Ironheart?
No.
X-Men 97, Agatha. That's coming in the winter. Aladdin, live from the West End.
Isn't
Avatar: The Way of
Ironheart
Water.
indefinitely postponed?
I don't know. Maybe this list hasn't been updated, though it says it's been updated. I have no idea. But it's always the thing with upcoming Disney Plus shows is that you never know exactly what's coming because half the lists are outdated the day they're put online because they keep cancelling things.
Right.
So,
Right.
so yeah, not looking particularly good for Disney Plus. What do we think is the future holding for this platform? Is it going to last? Is it going to be taken over?
gonna get
Is it going to be
sold.
bought?
Get
It's going to get
sold, yeah.
sold.
It's going to get sold. Yeah.
Who's it going to get sold to?
Apple's going to buy them. That's
think
what I reckon.
so?
Yeah, man. That's what's going to happen.
That would
They're
be
going to lose
insane.
so much money, they're going to have no choice but to be bought by Apple. And that'll be that, basically. So,
Isn't Disney Plus still technically the second biggest streaming network? Am I wrong?
I
Well,
don't know.
they're trying to solve this problem already, right? Because Hulu and Disney Plus is going to be combined into one now,
Yeah.
Right.
right? So they're trying that almost like tries to hide the numbers, right? If you cram everything together into one.
It's already a thing in Canada. We already got Hulu for free. Just saying. It's
Oh,
lovely.
right.
You
Lucky
Canadians.
bastards. Yeah.
I know.
Wait,
free
we have
healthcare and
Hulu
free
in
Hulu.
Canada?
Yeah, it's all wrapped into Disney Plus already.
Oh yeah. No, it's like it's wrapped up in three things here, which is like ESPN Plus, which I love. Thanks, Disney. So we got ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu in one package. But I think they're the announcement was they're combining into one app. Is the
Gotcha.
Ooh,
yeah
wow.
I think that'll make them the biggest streamer. I'm looking at numbers right now.
yeah that
And
would
Netflix is 230. Amazon Prime is second at 205. Disney Plus is 157, but they got ESPN, which will add 25 million. So it'll be like 183.
So they're being sneaky,
Getting up
aren't
there.
they?
Eh,
Well, so is Amazon because your Amazon Prime app is rolled into your Amazon Prime subscription, so that's kind of
Right.
cheating.
Right.
Just like combining Hulu and Disney
Yeah.
Plus is cheating, but
Mm.
'Cause I doubt Amazon Prime has high viewership.
yeah, I can't imagine.
Well, I saw there was a film. I know it's not on the docket, Little Platoon, but I saw a film called Mother over the weekend with J-Lo. You heard of it?
Is it with J-Lo? Isn't that the one
J-Lo,
with Jennifer
yeah.
Lawrence?
Yeah. It wasn't very good. It was okay. it
Yeah,
was
that was,
okay.
That's another.
Darren Aronofsky
The one
movie.
with Jennifer Lopez or the one with Jennifer
Yeah,
Lawrence?
we call Jennifer Lopez
Jennifer
J-Lo.
Lopez. J-Lo. We call her J-Lo.
Yeah. Yeah, but the one with J Law is like an old mother. That's
yeah, that came out like 4 or 5
Oh.
years ago.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
This is
But
no.
this just came
this-
out.
Yeah, just came out. Yeah, this one just came out. Because
So
my
you're
What'd
niece.
you
telling me
say?
that Jennifer
niece-
Lawrence is the first mother. Is that what we're saying?
No. my
She
niece
invented mothering.
my niece, what you call it, went up for that role for her daughter, but she didn't get it, obviously. So that's how I knew it was coming out. It's okay. It's an action thing, but it's okay. But you still don't believe it because, again, you've got a woman pretending to be a man all the way through that film, and even when she's fighting with a guy, you know that it's all, it just doesn't look right. Do you know what I mean? Because you know that J-Lo can't execute those moves. So
Hold up. Did you see that movie Enough that she did in like 2001 though?
Yeah.
That was believable.
No.
Ish.
Vex, just keep waving, okay? That's all I can say.
All
No,
I
it wasn't
remember
believable
from
at
that
all.
trailer is from that movie Enough with Jennifer Lawrence. I remember in the trailer and laughing at the cringe dialogue even back then when I was like a kid. When she goes right at the end, she's like, "Self-defense is not murder," and then it cuts to the release date. Corny as shit.
But there's a new movie coming out, isn't there? And it's not from the makers of John Wick, but I hear it's just over the top and really entertaining. I can't remember what it's called. Is it a German film or a Swedish film?
Sisu?
That one.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I wanted to see
Yeah.
that.
That looks
Yeah.
good.
Every
I'm gonna try and see
man
it this week.
every man my age is like that around me is like dying to see that film. It's like Nazis getting blown up. Let's go.
I'm
I
all
heard
over
there's
it.
hardly any dialogue in it as well, which suits me fine
Yeah.
actually. So it looks quite good actually. Looks quite good actually. Hello, Matt. How are we?
What's up, nerds? We are not doing well. My internet was perfect, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, and then I'm like my father, so I just hit everything, and I'm like, work. And my wife's all like, yeah, that'll make it work by destroying it. I'm like,
That sometimes
So-
works. My
Sometimes it
dad does
does
that all the
work.
time. Yeah, my dad hits stuff on his head to fix it all the time. And it usually works unless he hits it so hard that he breaks the thing. He has a very hard head. But yeah, TV remotes, they get fixed with his head. Everything gets fixed. Violence and technology does
Trope,
sometimes
isn't
mix.
it? That's a trope in movies, isn't it?
oh well, that's what I do. I'm just like,
Yeah.
work.
The Fonz,
Yeah,
the
the Fonz
Fonz
and
way of
also
doing it.
Marty McFly hits his head on the car and then it starts up.
Oh,
Remember when he was
yeah.
trying to?
Yeah.
There's loads of tropes. The one that I really like is they always have the same music in a lift.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that the girl from Ipanema or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always have that. And when it's a rich place, it's when we're talking about rich
And-
people.
And that song keeps playing in Hogwarts Legacy. If you go into like one of the spots, it's like that's the song playing always.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a lot.
Right.
Missed that. Maybe Bob Iger should headbutt Disney Plus. It might get some more subscribers coming in. I wasn't aware of the Apple rumor because Apple's got its own streaming service, and to be fair, some of the stuff on Apple TV is not
No,
bad.
some of it's good.
No, it's
Pretty
really
good,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
just
more
I just
hit
started
than
watching
miss.
that show Silo. Do you guys
Silo,
watch that
yeah.
show?
I'm watching through it as well. I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah,
Same,
I'm
pleasantly
half,
surprised.
yeah, I'm half tempted to go buy the books so I can see what happens. I'm all like, what's going on with these cameras, these little sensors? I wouldn't clean them. I'm not interested in that. I'd be like, I don't want to go outside. The outside looks horrible. So yeah.
I watched Ted Lasso, which I thought was really good, and I'm on. I think I might actually visit that one you just mentioned just now, but
Yeah, it's really
and Shrinking. That's why I'm on at the
It
moment.
will.
Yeah, I
Silo
have one
will
episode
piss you
to
off
watch.
though because it has a very macho mechanic woman. Who
okay.
does
Well,
macho
no,
I
things.
actually don't mind it as much.
I don't mind.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, it's
either.
Rebecca
if it's done
Ferguson.
well.
She's so
Yeah,
hot.
yeah. If it's done well, it's fine. But that J-Lo film wasn't done well at all. You can tell. But I'm just saying, if it's done well, I don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
Are you liking Ted Lasso?
Yes,
Because
I
I didn't
love it.
like season 2. I didn't like season
Didn't
2.
you?
It's
I
kind
think
of
Ted
annoying.
Lasso's absolute
Yeah.
garbage. Season 1 was fantastic.
I
And
love
then
season
everything
I
else
1.
like
downhill.
season
Oh,
one.
no.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gone really downhill. It's the last season. The last couple episodes are so cringe. They're like
Oh, see,
lecturing like crazy.
I'm 3 episodes behind, but yeah, but I'm this season's okay. I don't know.
spoilers.
No spoilers.
I actually just find myself like periodically forgetting that I'm watching Ted Lasso until a new episode comes up on the notification thing.
Yeah.
And then even then I'm just like, I physically am cringing watching this show now. I think I'm just watching it for a hate watch
Yeah.
at this point. But it's a shame because
Yeah.
that first season was so beautiful. And now they've just
Yeah.
caved to all the woke messaging and shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
But they were invited to
Absolutely.
the White House.
Yeah, but the White House
Who
also gave
isn't at
Mindy
this
Kaling
point?
a presidential medal, so it's like the White House. If
Yeah.
the White House invites an entertainer there at the moment, it's usually a sign that the entertainer is not very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason they did it didn't make sense though in the first place. They
Yeah.
invited them to like promote sports, but they invite the characters from a British sports team.
British.
Yeah, it was
So
weird.
It was in England.
Yeah, right.
None of it made sense.
It must be really strange as well for Americans to actually, have representatives of a proper sport in the White House for the first time ever. So, yeah.
There's a reason
Boom.
we make fun of that sport over here.
And it's not called soccer, it's called football.
No,
So there.
we call it soccer to keep it in its place.
Yeah.
Well, I
Very
call your
lame
sport
baseball.
handball then, because you pick it up.
Go
with
ahead,
your
it's still
hand. Why is it
badass.
called football?
Rugby for pussies, but yes. It's probably telling about Disney Plus that we've immediately
yeah.
moved on to
Oh, yeah,
literally
Disney Plus.
everything else, much like most of its audience seems to be doing. So there's nothing that anyone's looking forward to coming out on this platform.
I
We've
do.
got-
I do want to say though. I do. I was gonna get rid of Disney Plus, but my wife told me no because we pay for the annual subscription. She's like, "No, we have 4 months to go," and I was like, "Oh well, we might as well just keep it." But I do like Bluey. I love Bluey. I watch that with my kids all the time. That show's awesome. So
Louis?
That's because I was
Bluey,
wondering
yeah,
about
it's so
that.
good.
Like, how good
Yeah.
is Disney Plus for like if you're watching stuff with your kids? Is it better than watching it on your own? Do kids enjoy the platform more than adults do?
well, I mostly if I watch anything, it's like Mandalorian, which was terrible, and then the Marvel shows. But other than that, I don't watch like any of the movies or any of that stuff. So, but I watch it with my kids all the time. Like, although we didn't watch it today, but usually, I put on Bluey. They're getting sick and tired of it, but I'm all like, this show's awesome. I could watch it every day, and I'm an adult, so. So yeah.
Yeah, the real value is all the heritage stuff, right? All this, all the wonderful old Disney movies. Like I have 2 nieces, and they love those, and I would rather they watch that. So that's one of the reasons that we in the family keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised how many big movie stars are telling their kids they shouldn't watch Disney stuff with princesses in it because that's wrong today. I mean, Keira Knightley's telling her
Yeah.
kids that. I mean, she needs a good slap,
Yeah.
right? Let's face it.
Yeah.
She really does.
Wait, why is that wrong?
That's
why
what
is that
she's telling her
wrong?
kid. Exactly. Why is it wrong?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
You want to
It's
talk
not.
to her about it?
It's
Didn't
not.
that dumb bitch literally play a princess in Pirates of the
Yeah.
Caribbean?
She's played multiple princesses for sure.
Yeah,
Like-
it's fine. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should encourage little girls if they want to, dress up and be little princesses and live in that fairy tale land. I think that's the fun of being a child. You should get to play all those roles, and kids
Exactly.
kids play all sorts of roles. Then they pretend to be
Right.
this, they pretend to be mom, they pretend to be, all these different characters. They're playing it out in their head, and they're learning what does it mean to be a human being, and they're playing these stories
That's when the
out.
fun stops. Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter, she loves like princess outfits and everything, but she tells me all the time when she grows up she wants to be a police officer. So I'm like, so
Good.
you can be a princess and a police officer. So
Yeah.
And my son, he
Why
just wants to
not
be a
both?
superhero. So
She'll just wear a little crown under her hat, and
that'd
she's
be
good.
great. That'd be great. Like she sews it into the rim. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I just noticed
Yeah.
my name's still Turd Ferguson. Oops.
I thought that was intentional.
It was intentional from last week. Yeah.
Whoops.
I find myself going back to a lot of the Fox stuff on Disney more than I go to Disney
yeah.
stuff because they own, like everything.
Yeah.
So like there's some good old like Alien,
Oh,
I like
Alien. Oh, fantastic.
Underwater.
That's great.
That's like I'm really obsessed with that movie. I don't know why.
Which one?
Question. Go ahead.
Underwater. It's like
Underwater?
what's it? The Kristen Stewart or whatever.
Yeah,
She played, like, Bella and
Oh, I haven't seen it.
I agree with you
Ooh.
100%. I love
So
that
good.
movie. Yeah. Like when that creature at the end, it's almost like Cthulhu.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm all like, is this supposed to be Cthulhu? Because if it is, that's such a great idea. I love that movie. Sorry,
Sleeper.
spoilers.
It's a sleeper.
sorry.
Oh,
You're
man.
good.
Like
Do you
that-
guys
Worse than me?
remember? Sorry.
No, you go, Vex.
Oh,
You go.
okay. You guys remember how they had started editing out parts of like The Simpsons, right? Because it wasn't like culturally appropriate anymore. Have they done that with any of the legacy stuff for the Disney archives?
They did
Well, I
that
know they
years
put the
ago.
message in front at
Right.
the
Yeah.
very least.
Yeah,
There's a
they do.
messaging in front about
Like a
how
spoiler,
this,
not a spoiler, but like a sensitivity warning.
yeah,
or
it
some
might be
shit.
like a
Warning.
culturally
Yeah.
insensitive. Yeah.
Is it me or is that message getting longer and longer? I feel like that message
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
it went from like a sentence to like 2 paragraphs, and I was like, is this a Star Wars crawl? What's going on here? This is weird. And so, but yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember? I
They'll
don't know if you got
start,
like old VHS Disney tapes.
Oh my god,
But-
my parents still have them.
Animators used to like secretly hide like dicks
Yeah.
and like
Oh,
obscure
yeah.
words, and they took all
Yeah.
that out, which bums me out because that was so
So
funny shit to find.
Yeah, but that's not as worse as we have a channel called Channel 4 over here, and their actual building where you walk in is shaped like a penis.
Butt plug
And-
building in London.
And I heard it was deliberately done because I went there for a meeting once, and one of my friends who worked there said, "Come up with me." So we went straight up, and we looked down, and so there's a walkway, and then there's two, the doors that swing around on either side. So when you look at it from the top and you look down, it's basically a penis. That's basically what it is. So I don't know if it was
appropriate for
deliberate.
Channel 4.
Sorry, say again?
It's appropriate for Channel 4. Staffed by
That's the
cops.
one
But
with Kathy Newman, right?
that is, yes.
Is that
Yeah,
the
I'm glad to see it
channel?
has an
Yeah,
international reputation. It's
Yeah.
just not a
I
good
think
one.
Channel 4
But-
clips go viral
Oh,
really
yeah.
quickly.
They do. It's because of that Jordan Peterson interview.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
also what happened with,
Oh,
have you
yeah.
guys seen the Channel 4 interview with Richard Ayoade? I don't know if I
Yes.
pronounced his
No.
last name.
Yeah.
but-
Yes.
Oh God, it's like watching a toddler have to cross swords with a marksman. Like he just like destroys the interviewer in the most sassy way
Was that
possible.
a recent one?
No,
I
that
know
was
it must be from like 4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5,
He's too
yeah.
clever.
Okay.
He's just so clever. He's just so well spoken.
But also the Jordan Peterson one, he basically trashed her. He trashed her so much you couldn't answer a question that when
Yeah.
it was put to her because he was so right. So that was just
Yeah.
awesome. I don't know if you guys have seen
So
it.
what you're saying
Oh,
is,
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
that is a classic interview.
yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's good, innit?
Yes.
Anyway,
Good,
There's
isn't
another
it?
one, 'cause
Good,
one of
innit?
the old news anchors was Jon Snow, but not the good Jon Snow. This is Channel 4 News' Jon Snow, who's
Yeah.
like a 79-year-old white guy who went to, what was the event? I don't remember what the event was. It was some protest march or some crowd. And he said, "I've never seen so many white people in one place." It's like, my dude, you are the whitest man on British television. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Love that.
Channel 4 is
But
big.
yeah,
yeah.
on,
The
on, on
country,
the,
the country's 80% white. What do you expect? You're not walking into China. Like, what the hell?
But yeah, on go back to the redoing or like taking bits out of the old animated classics or just old Disney films. The trigger warning thing is weird because they thought, is it Song of the South? They thought, well, that's so
Yeah.
racist, we won't even put it online. The
not
trigger
racist.
warnings are all, well, no, but that's what they thought it was. But then all the trigger warnings are basically like, well, you know, if you watch this, you're probably a racist, but we're going to put it up because it's really popular. It contains outdated attitudes. So by implication, if you like this thing, then you are probably wrong morally. But there we are.
But it's
I
okay
thought-
for us to make money off of it.
but
That's
yeah,
totally
it's so
fine.
popular. There's there's some other YouTuber. There's a guy who did, is it Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged on YouTube, which I really love as a little sort of animated spoof thing. It's a brilliant series. But the guy who made it, you know, yeah, I feel kind of bad for him because I think he sort of went in for the woke offense fearing thing. So they all have disclaimers in the comment section saying this comedy no longer reflects the views that I hold. I'm
Yeah.
ashamed of some of the jokes that I made. Yeah, but you left it up, didn't you? Because it still makes you lots of money. That's
Yeah.
that's a bit low, which is a shame because he was brilliantly funny and still is quite funny as well. I just wish he'd have a bit more courage behind his convictions.
Don't see what's wrong with Zippity Doo Dah. I like
Yeah,
that song.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. The Song of the South, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, like since I was a child, but I don't remember it. But then again, I'm white, so what do I know? But I don't remember it being, like that crazy, you know? I mean, you know, I would have to watch it again, but I mean, I don't even know if my parents still have it on VHS, but I don't remember it being bad in terms
I don't
of race
remember it
and
being
stuff.
bad
So.
either.
Which was it wasn't the Wizard of Oz, but there's one Disney film which is quite famous for having in the background. You can see a dwarf who committed suicide and is hanging
It's
from
Wizard
a
of
tree.
Oz.
Wizard of Oz, yeah.
It is.
Oompa
I
Loompa.
wonder if-
But I thought,
Yeah.
wait, I thought that was a rumor. I don't think that was proven.
I think somebody debunked it. To be
did
honest
they?
with you, yeah, I don't remember
Yeah.
what it really was, but I remember seeing something about how they debunked it. But I like to pretend
It was
it's
an
real.
animal thing.
I was going to
It
say
was
it's
an
a
animal
shame.
It was a
movement,
wing
something
from the
like
bird.
that.
Now that you said that, I remember it was a wing from the bird that was in the background. It like moved its wing, and now that you've said that, baggage, I remember now. That's what it was.
I was going to
Yeah.
say it's a shame, but actually it means that one dwarf somewhere in the world didn't kill himself, which is probably a good thing.
Although
so
the
it's-
woman that played the Wicked Witch of the West really did get burns on herself when she because the something about the pyrotechnics went off when that pink that red stuff comes up when she disappears and she didn't get under the trapdoor. Long story short, she burned herself and then she wouldn't refilm it. She was like, fuck that, I'm not doing this again. I got burned, you guys. And so yeah.
But she also got poisoned for the green stuff that she had in her
Did she?
face as
See,
well.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so did
And
the
you
dude who
guys-
played Tin Man.
That's what I
Yeah,
heard.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both
That's
of
so
them.
man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
So this is
not
just
good.
this was just a cursed
that
film.
movie has, it has so many little tales of misery sprinkled everywhere.
But such a good movie. I love that movie.
Yeah,
so
but
much.
somebody got killed because a house fell on him. I remember
Right. She deserved it. She deserved it.
Yeah.
After she got burned, she also had a house.
Yeah, I mean, she deserved. You see those shoes? Those shoes were hideous. She deserved to die.
This is the problem with changing old media, though, because like we love all of these stories of tragedy and pain and heartbreak and murder and death, and like that's what makes these films so
be
characterful.
human.
Yeah, exactly. I'd hate to see this all expunged from the record because it's inappropriate for modern audiences. But it sort of goes to what you were saying, Baggage Claim, earlier about the reason people watch Disney Plus is really for the archive stuff. But if the archive stuff is all being consistently updated or changed or bits are removed, is it so much more cost effective to subscribe to Disney Plus than it is just to get hard copies of these really old films, most of which you can pick up secondhand for pennies at this point?
Well, I think that's why they bought the Marvel and Star Wars IPs. I think there was this thought process, which is sheer hubris, that like if you're sitting at home and you're only paying $10 a month, like I pay for like 3 or 4 different gyms. Like I forget that I have subscriptions to these places. So I feel like they rely on the fact that you'll probably forget that you are subscribed to Disney Plus. And like it's good enough if we put out any Marvel or any Star Wars content, because those are huge intellectual properties. And it turns out that's not the case. You still have to make quality content or we will leave.
Well, we are leaving, aren't we? So
And we are.
Yeah.
In the US, don't they bundle it with a lot of the phone plans is the other thing as well? So that's
they
like
try,
another to boost
for
the
like a
numbers,
year.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
cheating.
Yeah, but also, coming back to what you were saying, Little Platoon, about expunging the human experience, right? There's a griminess to the human experience that's so imperfect, and that's what makes a story compelling, is when you see that play out in all facets. And when I watched Ted Lasso, I feel like, first of all, I loved it at the beginning, but that they're so keen on removing the messiness of life, and everyone is almost like childlike. It's like the whole perspective on life is so childlike that life really is. It's like coming back to Quantum Mania. I was going to call it Ant-Man Quantum Mania. And that Cassie says it's never too late to stop being a dick, and it changes the guy's mind about being a dick. And and it's just this really weird belief that human beings can be convinced to stop doing bad things just by like being called out. It's so strange, because I think these people actually believe it, because one of the plot lines, sorry, Matt, I'm going to give like a tiny thing away from one of the episodes. I don't think it's a big deal, but they're talking about refugees being denied.
I apologize. You can spoil the whole season. I'll still watch it. I love spoilers, so it's fine. I was just joking. Go ahead and spoil away.
Okay.
Spoil away.
Okay.
So what was that? Something about the refugees being?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes. No. So there were refugees being denied entry into the UK, and one of the characters is just really angry about it, and she says because I forget what politician she was directing it at, but she was saying because she's a bitch, that's why she's denying refugees entry into our country. And it's just, again, it's that completely childlike perspective that the only reason someone would want to deny refugees entry into a country is because they want to be a dick, and we should tell them to stop being a dick. It's so insane that whole concept of even open borders is like, you can't even argue about that anymore properly. Right. And there are these great shots. Sorry, I'm just talking on and on. Last thing, like there's this great interview that this guy did of people protesting, saying we should accept as many refugees as possible. And the guy was like, "Hey, are you willing to adopt a refugee? Would you mind taking a refugee into your home?" And everybody's like, "Oh, I would love to, but I don't have space." Like, right. Yeah. That's what's going on.
Yeah, you could probably make a supercut of all the people asked that same question. Yeah. They always have some reason for wanting yes to refugees, but as long as they're somewhere else.
It's someone else's problem.
It's someone else's problem, yeah. All that matters for us is that we parade our moral virtue by saying, yes, we want open borders, but we want the consequences to be borne elsewhere. Right. But yeah, no, the idea that the UK government turns away refugees is just so fictional that it's impossible to suspend your disbelief for that episode of Ted Lasso, I think. That it is, and you're right about the Ant-Man point, because it sanitizes absolutely everything, and a lot of the attention gets put on Cassie Lang's delivery of that line, "Don't be a dick," but actually the line sanitizes MODOK just as much as everybody else, because in dismissing the problem in that way and making it that easy to fix, you're never actually having to grapple with any of the bad things the person did. So it's the most sanitized production. It's laughably glib. And it's like, it kind of did make me laugh. It's just that it didn't make me laugh for the reasons I think the film wanted me to be laughing.
I never watched it, so... Yeah,
you're better for it.
Yeah. Well, it's coming to Disney Plus in 2 months' time, so you'll be...
I haven't got Disney. I've got what is it, Paramount and Sky.
Yes.
And, but that Disney, no, I don't really want Disney, to tell you the truth, but there you go. Although I might have to sail the Seven Seas to watch the Nick Fury... What's the Nick Fury one called?
Secret Invasion. Yeah, that's coming out soon. I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
So maybe that might help Disney Plus out a bit.
You are excited for that.
I think they're realizing that they are making shit. I think they are realizing, and there are some nice things.
But is it too late? For me, it's too late. They've already burnt this bridge. I mean, like if I watch it, it's only for content. Other than that, I have no interest in any of this. They've already burnt this bridge. I'm only doing it for content. Other than that, I have no interest in this at all. So,
but kids are not like we were when. Well, I can only speak for myself. Obviously, they've changed, haven't they? I mean, I've got a lot of nieces and nephews, and all they do is look at their phone. They don't watch. They look. So they glance up at Disney, and then they're on their phone. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe they're
not retaining any of it, but the stuff they're putting out is also kind of reinforcing that with all of these jump cuts. They're skipping over a lot of character development. There's always just shock value and everything. So they're catering to that crowd as well, which is also contributing to the fact that they're putting out shit content.
Yeah.
Right on.
Right. Netflix has the same problem as well.
I've got a little nephew called Leo, and he's always jumping around and stuff. I think he's like 5, and I'd set him down to watch Dumbo, obviously off a Blu-ray, and I think it's a DVD actually, and he watched it and he started crying and everything. When Dumbo couldn't get to the mother couldn't get to the mother and all that and stuff like that, he was
spoilers.
Good seeing God's name.
80 years later.
I have 2 little ones. My son is 5, and we have movie night every Sunday. That's our movie night, and I can tell if the movie is good if they sit through the whole thing. And my daughter's really good. She's a movie cinephile like myself. So if she can sit through the whole movie and not get up and like want to play around, my son's a little different because he like wants to like Leo. He is like all over the place all the time. But if she can sit through the whole movie, then I know it's good. But if she's like I'll for instance, we watched the live action Mulan. Now it's crap, but I was like, let's see if my daughter sits through this whole thing. 20 minutes, and she was all like, I'm done. And I was like, all right, let's all right, you're done. I'm done too, because I don't even like this movie, but good on you for trying and everything. So
but Dumbo's really short.
It is short.
Like
I think we haven't
90,
watched it for a while. Yeah, it is.
Actually,
it's a good movie too.
I think it's 80 something, but it's really short. And I love how innocent Dumbo is. I don't know if you guys remember or have seen Dumbo. It's very innocent, and I was really upset when they remade it and created all these little stories in there. And you're like, why? Do you know what I mean? And I think Disney puts a thing at the front because of the drunk scene when he gets drunk and he dreams about the pink elephants and stuff like that. So it's just crazy. Why? But how's that going to upset kids?
It's
it doesn't make any sense to me. None of it. Anyway, whatever.
It's just weird. Like I find it in like cancel culture a lot. They're kind of like adjacent in a way, or like they're like switching and putting up a bunch of disclaimers and stuff because it's almost like no one wants to admit that we've grown or that like you can grow as a person. It's like you always have to be the perfect iteration of yourself from birth to death, and there's no room for error. Like I don't think it's really offensive that old movies are racist, because I can look back and be like, wow, people were really racist before and we've grown since then.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's an excellent point.
Racism was a norm across the board, and we as a people have grown out of that, and that's just something that we don't really acknowledge anymore.
Really?
Yeah, you find it everywhere. I mean, well, you find it in some of the best old songs. One of the best old Christmas songs, obviously, is it has I can use the word, but I won't because it'll get us demonetized. But it has the F word in it. But it's a brilliant song. But there's a campaign to get that song sort of either never played at Christmas again, despite it being an absolute banger, or to have that word sort of changed in sort of the equivalent of post-production.
Take it out, don't they?
Take it out. And it's like, it's a product of its time. You can appreciate it as a product of its time. It's still a really good song, and you don't
Which
have
F word are we talking about? Because it's not fuck.
F word.
No. We can say fuck. We say fuck all the time.
Does it rhyme with tag?
It's the protected characteristic version of the F word.
Yeah.
Which you need a pass to use, and I have some somewhere, but I don't know where they are.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to wrap my brain about whatever.
It is a good song though, but when they play at Christmas time, especially on channels over here, they suddenly just blank it out. That they blank out that word, don't they? So it's still being censored.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also you go back to. I mean, I spent so long looking at Peter Pan, so that's the obvious reference.
Lucky you.
Stupid fucking video. I spent more time looking at young boys than your average Epstein client list member. But there goes monetization.
He's had to mute himself. He's laughing so much.
but you go to the 53 film, and it has the section with the Indian tribe, and the tribe is called Pickaninnies, and obviously Pickaninnies is kind of an offensive word, and yes, it's an outdated stereotype, but actually it does quite a bit of world building, that they're an important part of the plot. It expands the world because they have to go travel there, meet the tribe, make friends with the tribe, rescue Tiger Lily, make friends. You compare that with the 2023 film. They're not in it at all, so actually the world is much smaller. Yeah. So in a bit to avoid offensive stereotypes, you've actually sacrificed the integrity of the world you're trying to build, which is a shame.
It is a shame.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed. Is your video still stuck in copyright claim?
Oh my god, yes.
Really? Man,
upload attempt number 37 will happen after this stream.
Well, how many second videos are there? What is it? 3 second videos now that you're allowed to use?
2?
Yeah, I think Disney's changed it. You used to get away with 12 seconds, but this one, they Yeah, you could do 12-second Disney clips. This one, it started flagging everything at 10 seconds, so I got rid of all the 10-second clips,
Why don't
and
you
it says,
just
well,
put
okay,
stills
you
up?
can't have the 9 seconds either.
Do you think it's every Disney clip, or do you think it's just this one because everybody hates it so much?
It doesn't give a shit about the 2003 film, because no one gives a shit about the 2003 film. But if you're using the 53 animated one or the 2023 version, then they're very hot on that, which is it's annoying, because I'm doing scene comparisons, and so it kind of doesn't really work that way.
Okay.
But it's fine. I'll get around it. It would have been done, because I would have appealed straight away. It's just that they only told me there were 2 mistakes, and so I went away and thought, well, it's quicker to fix it than wait 7 days for the appeal to go through. So I'll fix that, re-upload it. Oh, there's 2 more. Okay. And then 2 more. Okay. And then it's 2 every single fucking time, which is really annoying.
Yeah, they suck.
Platoon, let's talk offline. I have some tricks on getting around it.
Ooh, thank you. I will take you up on that. Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be up tomorrow, maybe, probably, at some point. But it's, as I was saying, the backstage, because my internet's really shit. Every time it's uploading something, I can't watch anything else. So basically, I've got Guardians 3 video I need to get past, and I've also got Mando Part 2, and then I've got to get all that done before Little Mermaid, and that's all because Disney are being arseholes with copyright. So I have an incentive to hasten them as much as possible.
I watched Movie Cynic's thing on Guardians. And what's interesting about your review on Guardians, Matt?
Besides all the comments of
no.
idiots?
Well, I didn't read any of that stuff. But what's interesting is that you put the negative at the end, and you put the positive in the front of your video.
Am I not living up to my name?
No, yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, it's really weird how people always finish on the negative, don't they? It's
well,
it's really
don't
hard
worry.
to focus on the positive.
Don't worry, because of the fact that it wasn't a total slob job of praise. Yeah. It doesn't matter of the fact that I said it's good literally in the title. I didn't praise it. I did not praise it enough, according to the idiots in my comments.
Oh, because they're idiots. I thought you did a really good job on it.
I just wish do a really good job.
Yeah, I just wish that you put the negative first and then put the positive, end in the positive. But
no,
I gotta.
But you are called. I gotta live it up to it. I know.
It's easy. You should just go negative all the way through.
Just go hard on it.
It's these long sections of praise, but everyone ignores them because apparently it's negative all the way through. Yeah. Well, since we've started talking about Guardians, I reckon we can move away from Disney Plus, since we had Guardians on the list of topics anyway. Movie Cynic, I know you've been following the box office probably closer than I have, certainly. I was under the impression that the drop was kind of bad, but you told me that it wasn't. Do you want to fill us in? How is Guardians 3 faring?
Yeah, so if you're dropping in the 40% and you've opened over $100 million, that is considered a very good hold. This isn't like the box office changes over time. Like 20 years ago, that wouldn't be considered a strong hold. But movies also weren't opening to $100 million. Like it's just 114 million is still huge, even though it's not as big as, comparatively to Guardians 2. Or Avengers Endgame or anything like that. But typically Marvel movies in general, like even if they're praised, like a 62% drop is in the works. If it's really bad, it's in the high 60s. That's when you're in a lot of trouble. But in the 40s, that means that the word of mouth is really good for this movie. It just is. Like it's a objective fact, because that's how MCU movies function. If it's a typical movie, it's going to drop in the 60s, and it didn't. It's I think James Gunn even tweeted this morning that like it's the number 2 holdover in MCU history, which is huge. So no matter what we say about it, like people enjoyed this movie, and
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it also.
I didn't dislike it whatsoever. And general audiences are just eating it up. So
I think it compared to every film, word of mouth is the thing that pushes it forward all the time. Doesn't matter about the social media or people arguing on Twitter. Word of mouth is the strongest thing that films have going for it.
Yeah, can I just say in its opposition, it didn't really have any competition this weekend. I mean, the only thing it had was that Book Club 2, and nobody was going to see that. So it really didn't have any competition. But at the same time, if it was going up against The Little Mermaid, I'd still go see Guardians over that.
Yeah, but neither do any other MCU movies, because everyone's scared of them.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So they always fall in the 60%. It's just how it is. Like even I think like Black Panther 2 still fell in that percentile.
That's true.
Even though everyone said it was amazing because everyone was forced.
It wasn't. It wasn't amazing.
I don't
It
know
was
because
not.
I walked out, so I don't know.
Did
how
you
good it
did
was.
you see that I don't remember what article it was, but James Gunn, he did an article where he said something like he was at one point in time he was consulted on the entire MCU. And like he was like saying something like
I
he was
saw that,
like
yeah.
the special sauce. I can't remember what word usage he used, but I was like, well, then why are you leaving if you're so
Money.
wanted and everything?
Because he got fired.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
money. They give him a shitload of money, man. So to come across
go
to
to
DC.
DC.
Yeah. So, I don't know whether he got fired. He got fired once and then he came back. But I don't know about this getting fired. I think he basically it was so attractive, the money was so probably big. He just went bye. Do you know what I mean?
Also,
I'm
he was
sure
given
he's-
creative control over one part of the MCU, whereas he's given creative control over the entirety of the DCEU. So it's
Yeah.
technically
Yeah.
it is a step up. And if your previous employer has fired you once already, you probably aren't going to be very loyal to them going forward. I just thought that probably impacted Guardians 3 overall because there are so many ideas there that you can see how they might be spun out into another film or two, but they've been crammed in because he knows this is the last one he's going to do, which I think was probably to the detriment of the film. The rocket stuff is clearly the one that he had in mind as the anchoring part of this film, but everything else was sort of sense of obligation. So it's really strong in its middle act, but the beginning and the end is not good. But I mean, on its box office stuff, didn't it take a lower receipt in the first place than say Thor: Love and Thunder did? So a smaller box office drop from a lower beginning. How does that pan out in terms of comparisons?
It still doesn't. It doesn't matter because like when you start talking in the hundreds of millions when you're opening that large, like it's huge. It's like comparing like in the YouTube space, like a 200,000 subscriber channel to 100,000. Like they're still fucking huge. So it doesn't even matter. 67% drop at 114 million is still wouldn't be a surprise. I mean, look what Ant-Man 3 did. That opened to like 108 and collapsed. Absolutely fucking collapsed.
69%.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Right there. Exactly. So the fact that what is that, a 20% margin difference? Like that is astronomical in terms of box office. So like next week, I would look for an even smaller drop too, because normally the biggest drop is from first weekend to second weekend, and then they start to decline from there. Like last year, it is another example of that. Like the Batman opened to 120 or something like that, and its second weekend drop was only 50%, which means the word of mouth from theater goers was really strong for that movie. So people went to see it, were telling their friends how good it was. Just that's how box office functions nowadays. A 50% drop is really good word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth is strong, isn't it? It's like the Force.
Yeah.
So yeah. I did like Guardians of the Galaxy though. I thought it was a lot of fun. I actually saw it twice now. I had to take my nieces to see it. And little Jamie, she's crying all the way through it. She's going, "Oh, you've damaged me, Uncle Ian. You've damaged me. That film is so sad." I'm like, "Shut up, get in the bus."
See, I took my 5-year-old son. I took my 5-year-old son for boys club, and he was just like, "They ripped his face off," and I was like, "Yeah, look away, look away."
Yeah.
I was like, "Don't look at that, Daddy.
All
This
that
was a bad
animal
choice."
stuff.
Yeah, and don't call CPS, okay?
But I really am glad that they did show that stuff, the screwed up face and the animals getting tortured and stuff like that. Because when we were their age, we were watching things like, I don't know, Evil Dead 1.
Right,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Stuff like
no,
that.
for real.
So, you know what I mean?
I was just
their turn.
Yeah, I was just having this conversation with my eldest brother, and we were talking about how like my parents would let us watch like zombie movies and all these horror movies, and me like I'll watch, like I was watching Invincible, and it came to the part where Omni-Man was killing the Guardians of the Globe, and my son was watching it, and I was like, you know what, I'll let him watch it. It's a cartoon, he knows it's not real. And the whole time he's like, he's dead, he killed him, and he's like, he chopped his head off, and he's like, oh, he's dead. And I was like, maybe we should shut this off. And my wife was like, what are you letting him watch? I was like, I don't know. I was like, my parents, they would have let me watch this crap. But yeah.
As I said, there's too much protection over kids. Kids have to grow up and they have to face some bad stuff. well, not bad stuff isn't bad stuff. I mean, things like movies. This, to be scared is a good thing. It kind of makes you grow stronger. So to take all that stuff away, I think it's wrong, personally. Anyway,
I think kids need I think there's a healthy amount of negligence that the kids need. Like the healthy amount of trauma, if there's such a thing.
Yeah. Come home when the lights go off. That's what my mum always.
I'd sneak away and watch RoboCop, like that commenter just said too. I'd watch RoboCop and like Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah, my parents were such dicks. They would do the thing where they'd be like, "It's not real. Go touch the TV." And as soon as we get to the TV, the zombie or whatever would jump up and be like, "Ah!" And I'd be like, "Ah!" and everything. Yeah, my parents were like that. So yeah.
I think I watched American Pie when I was like.
So it's okay.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see. What did you watch? Did you watch American Pie when you were what?
Like 7?
Yeah, right.
Oh
Yeah. Like my
You
mother
didn't stick your dick in a pie, did you? I think that was coming.
No,
I was like, no, that can't be
the
coming.
lessons from. Like it'll be too hot. I have to wait for it to cool down. And then I knew. I wanted to address the homie that was saying like volume 2, volume 3 isn't looking rosy or whatever. What is Avatar 2 now? It's like the third biggest grossing movie of all time or something stupid. That thing opened to $130 million. Like,
yeah, but
it's not going to be the same. I'm not saying it'll be the same, but like, I don't think people really understand what legs are and how much more important it is for a movie to have legs than to have a gigantic opening weekend.
Well, to that point though, literally only James Gunn has movies perform that, or James Cameron has movies perform that way. Nobody else does, period. Right. And if they do, it is an anomaly.
Well, that's because he made it pact with the devil. That's why.
So like a James Cameron movie opening like that, it's like, yeah, that is going to happen because for whatever reason that it happens for his movies, even though that movie is total ass. But
I don't
like
get
Guardians,
it. I genuinely don't get it.
No, I don't either. I do not get it either.
It's the legacy of his name. That's what it is. Because James Cameron has
been
been a name in the industry for close to 30, 40 years now. So it'll pull a generations in. It's a name.
I'm going to defend it. I'm going to defend it. Okay.
Do it.
So in my way of thinking, it's kind of, I know that the story is simple and that's kind of like all the shit talk I've seen is about how simplistic the story is. Yeah, exactly.
What is
barely?
No.
But I think the magic of James Cameron is like it's like really, really popular pop music. Like it's never the most technical. It's not like the lyrics are out there like trying to break your mind or like make you think introspectively. It takes a very, very simple formula and just does it in the most grand and like, I don't know, well-formulated way. He wants to speak to an audience that isn't just Western or American. He's trying to make a movie that will appeal to so many people. And that's why it breaks the insane numbers that it does, is because he's taking such simple ideas and doing them on such a grand scale. And the visuals in that movie are like ridiculous. I went and saw it twice just because if you're into like VFX and like how movies are made and like behind the scenes kind of stuff, it is like mind boggling how that movie was made. So that's my defense.
I totally agree as well. I mean, the film, I'll always say this, the film, as far as I was concerned, was entertaining. It wasn't great. It was very, very simple. And I get what you're saying, Bagface, geez, what a name. So, I get what you're saying, because he did make something simple and then just made it grand. And people, they eat their burgers, they go 9 to 5 job. When they go to the cinema, that's really all they want, really. Let's face it. If something's too complicated, then they kind of step back. But majority of people, that is the normies, that is. So I think what you're saying is kind of right on, really.
I've just remembered I have a specific animation for when people say nice things about Avatar.
I would argue it takes just as much skill to make something simplistic and also watchable as it does to make something complicated.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think visually is why people go to see it. And also like explain to me someone explain to me how no one talks about that movie in the way that we talk about other massive movies on that
Right.
scale, on that box office scale. No one talks about Avatar
good
unless it's
point.
us shitting on it. It's the only time I hear about this movie.
Yeah.
You're
Like,
absolutely right.
It just slips. It slips out of any sort of discussion. Like
You
a
see
month
it,
later.
and that's it.
But then
And
it
it's
Out of
totally
mind
on.
immediately,
permeates,
almost.
right?
Same
Like,
with the first one. Yeah, same with the first one. I mean, Titanic was a good movie, but actually, my husband was like, every time I say that, he's like, "Was it really? Was like, are you
was
sure?
all
Were
right.
you just
Go-
really
go
young?
watch it.
Yeah, it
Were
was
you just
okay,
really
yeah.
young when you watched it? Yeah,
It still holds up, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It is
yeah, I-
insanity.
yeah,
Well, the shit
like
didn't
it.
hold up.
yeah.
did
I feel like emotionally, it actually does. Oh, I missed that.
it? Sorry, go ahead, baggage. Go ahead.
No, I just missed
No.
your joke. But
Oh, did I?
but it just makes you feel. It actually does take you on an emotional journey. And in my books, that's a good movie. Is if it can keep you at its pitch consistently.
That's what he's
And
good
I think
at.
it does that very well.
That's
Yeah.
what James
Right on.
Cameron's good at. But also, Leo could have got on that bloody thing. couldn't he?
Yes.
Let's face
Yeah,
it.
he could.
Yeah, they could have taken turns. God damn it.
I think it
She just
With-
gets
without,
on and
like-
falls asleep.
without being like front of mind too, I think it kind of permeates through some things, at least the visuals. Because I know when I saw Wakanda Forever, like watching their dry for wet scenes made me just want to like curl up into a ball and die. And it's because I had seen it done so well like 2 weeks before. It was just kind of, it's like, oh, feels like I'm watching a cartoon. It even though I wasn't in my mind thinking like this isn't as good as the Avatar wet scenes, it's in there. It just lingers in your
feeling.
brain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then
I'm
Namor
happy
with
to
his little
entertain.
feet.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous. Does not translate well from comic to film at all.
No, it really doesn't. He's such a shit villain. No, I'm happy to entertain the arguments about the technological achievements of the Avatar films. I
Here
think
we go.
that's undeniable. I just can't help but note that Star Wars accomplished probably at least as much in terms of technology and driving cinematography forward, and actually has a story that people remember and characters that people care about. So it's not one or the other. Avatar is a Happy Meal film that you go, you eat it. You don't really remember eating it more than an hour after you've done it. It's sort of there reliably, but it doesn't really. It's like empty calories. It's a screensaver film. Like, yeah, okay. If simple things take talent, then the old like fish tank screensaver on Windows 98 is also a masterpiece on the level of Avatar.
You must remember that a lot of people eat Happy Meals. Do you know what I
I
mean?
know they do, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
they
people
sell
saw
by the
Avatar.
millions. Do you know?
Yeah, they do. But
Yeah.
but no one would say that a Happy Meal burger is better than a steak, like a proper steak.
That's
it's just
true.
that it's more available. So that's the difference between popularity and quality. So Avatar is undeniably incredibly popular. It is also, I think, undeniably a qualitatively shit film. But yeah, it's popular, so it must be good.
No, nobody's saying that. I can only speak for myself. I'm not saying that Avatar is great. I think it's entertaining. I'd be hard pushed to say it's good or a good movie. I think the effects were absolutely freaking fantastic,
Yeah,
especially
they
when you
were.
watch it in IMAX and in 3D, because that's how I saw it. It was mind blowing. I was like, how the hell did they do any of that stuff? It really was mind blowing, and and for that, I guess the audience got pulled in with that, and that's why it made a crap load of money. Sometimes the simple things make a crap load of money. Let me tell you, that film was very simple indeed. Everything
Oh,
about
incredibly
it was
so.
simple.
But yeah, and like Guardians 3, I mean, it did benefit from no competition at all, and it also benefited from no competition at one of the most important sort of movie release dates in the calendar. You're coming up to Christmas when everyone's going to the cinema, and everyone gets out of the way because it's an Avatar film, which is just self-fulfilling. Like, okay, we can't compete with this because, well, that's how competition works. Yeah, no, not really. No, I think that's the good distinction you make, Mega Geek. It's entertaining. I think that was the basic thrust of my 3.5 hour argument about it, which is that there's a huge difference between something being entertaining and it being good. I don't deny that people found it entertaining, but that's a purely subjective matter. It's just that you could have entertainment with a story which is there and characters who you don't hate. And that you might even remember for positive reasons afterwards, and where the only emotional beat in the entire film is when a whale gets hunted for about 5 minutes.
Space whale.
Yeah.
Space whale, save the whales.
Yeah, I was
It wasn't
really
a whale,
excited to
though.
see that
Was it a
guy
whale?
die, though. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Again, I think the simple things are the things that actually appeal to the mass. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that film was really simple and stupid. So kind of,
Also, James Cameron kind of knows what to put in a movie that you have to go see on a big screen. Like that movie, I'm sure a lot of the word of mouth was you have to see this in IMAX, because that IMAX was sold out for friggin' weeks where I'm from. And it was kind of just one of those things where, like, if you waited for it to come on demand, you could watch it on your TV, and it's going to be fine to watch. But it's one of those things where he almost demanded that you go see it on a big screen, which is smart play.
It is. And it was billed. All the ad promotional material was it's the cinematic event of a generation.
Don't
That's
get
partly
Movie Cynic
because
started on that
you
one.
spent such a fucking long time making it, James. So that's self-fulfilling. And also, like, how bad does your generation have to be that the generational defining cinematic achievement is one that no one remembers for more than 2 days after they've seen it? It's kind of indicative of where we are, I think, in terms of like artistic production and consumption.
Yeah, fun story, if I can just interlude in just a second. Okay, so I went to the movie theater. I was not going to see Avatar because I had no interest in seeing that movie, but there was this like little like older couple that went, and they walked up to the counter and they were like, "Can I have 2 for Avatar?" And everybody was just like looking at them like, "It's sold out." And they're like, "Oh, can we get one for the next showing?" And they're like, "It's sold out for the whole day." And they're like, "You can't see it. You should have." And they're like, "What?" And they're like, "You should have like got it online." And they're like, "You can order it online." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "You should give them a seed. You should give them a seed. Let them take the handicap spots. Nobody buys those. Nobody buys those." But I felt bad for them because they wanted to see
at
this.
the front seat.
Yeah, they wanted to see these blue people, but they couldn't because they don't know how to use the internet. I was like, "Oh, I feel bad for them."
Well, do you know that they cheated in Avatar? I was watching a show on it's called the Corridor Crew, and they talk about visual effects. And there's a scene in it
I
where
like them.
the guy, one of the blue people is tying a knot on the whale thing, and that's all real. None of that was CGI. They painted a guy's hands blue, they put the water in, and he was doing it. It was real, and they were sitting there going, "That's real," because they were trying to figure out if it was an effect or not. But it was real, so I guess they did a lot of cheating in that, didn't they? Right across the board. So
It seems like cheating, but then you think about like the fact that you can't tell if it was real or not real is kind of big dick. It's like there were so many points in that movie where I was like, this could just be a blue person.
Yeah, but
some
that
weird
was
prosthetic.
that one moment was so that's the one thing I actually remember from the movie is that one thing in the trailer when he's tying the knot because it looked so real. So I guess it wasn't great CGI at all because it was fucking real.
But he's good at doing something really simple. I mean, even when you look at Terminator 2, that was really simple. Do you know what I mean? So he's good at doing simple
at least it
films.
had sort of characters and themes and motifs and values and something to convey, like the importance of family, which Avatar is just this weird sort of cheap pastiche of. Like, it's stressing family harder than a Fast and Furious film, but you don't actually feel any of that. Whereas in Terminator 2 you do. I mean, Terminator 2 is the story of John Connor right up until the moment James Cameron decides that it isn't anymore because, but the less said about Dark Fate, the better, I think. How do we get from Guardians to Avatar?
I don't know.
Legs to
Yeah,
stand
box
on.
office.
Legs to
Box-
stand
yeah.
on.
I just want to know how do we
CGI.
get this deal with the devil? I'm prepared. I'm prepared to make a deal. I'm prepared.
Ask James Cameron.
Yeah.
James Cameron. James
You have to
Cameron
go
doesn't do what
to the
James Cameron
tundras.
does.
Because
Yeah.
South Park reference, Platoon, you're too smart to be watching South Park.
Oh no, South Park is brilliant. I
love South Park.
Nothing said against South Park.
I have a question though for Platoon. Do you think if something akin to Star Wars was released today, do you think it would be received the same as it was back in the day? Do you think it would be as much of a phenomenon?
No.
I think so. Maybe slightly less of one, but it's hard to say because Star Wars
Special
is
effects.
responsible for so much of what we now
that's a
consider
tough
the
one.
mainstay in cinema. Like, if it's a world without Star Wars and nothing else filled that gap at that time, would Star Wars come along and do the same thing? Yes. It's just that it's almost impossible to transplant because Star Wars is this sort of node in cinematic history without which you can't understand anything that comes after it anyway. So I'd like to think, though, that, if Star Wars had come out in 2020 as opposed to 1970, 78, was it 79?
77.
77 even. And nothing had like done what Star Wars did back in the 70s, then yes, it would still be this huge culturally iconic property. And I think the fact that so many people still went and turned out to see The Force Awakens and even The Last Jedi proves that it still has that capacity. People still attach this huge potential to it, or did back in the day. They still viewed it as this hugely important property that everyone had to go and see. So it still had that effect. The fact that the films didn't then follow through with that is another question. But it still occupies that place in sort of front and center of people's imagination in the way that Avatar doesn't, except that everyone somehow still goes to see it. So maybe I'm wrong.
Well, James Cameron became a director because of George Lucas. He was jealous of him, apparently. He used to drive trucks. And so one day he went to the cinema and saw Star Wars, and he got really pissed off because he should have done it. So he said, and then he made a beeline to who's that stupid low budget filmmaker? He went to his school and he was involved in that film Battle of the Planet. So it's like based on the Magnificent Seven. Anybody see that one? The sci-fi? Can't remember. Was it? But yeah, James Cameron was involved creating the sets for it and stuff like that. And then he was so angry he became James Cameron. And made films.
That makes sense, actually. That fits his personality.
Yeah, so there you
Yeah,
go.
it does.
One film that he made that nobody talks about is True Lies, which I really
love
like.
True Lies.
I love True Lies. That's
talked
one of my
about
top
that.
10 movies.
And it's not even available on Blu-ray.
Nope.
At all. It's crazy to think that film is not available.
Yeah, that is one of his best, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
That's
I
his
agree.
last good film, in my opinion.
You reckon?
I'll agree with that.
Yeah. I think everything after that, it took a downturn pretty
I
sharply.
mean, he only has 3 movies after that, so yeah. One was
Was it after-
Titanic and 2 Avatars.
All right. Because Avatar, Titanic was mid to me.
Yeah. That's all right. I'm with you. I'm with you, Vex.
No, I love Titanic. I saw like 7 times in the
I
theater.
still cry. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that movie so many times. I get to the end and I'm like, Jack.
Yeah, when she's like, come back. I'm like, yeah, come back. She goes like, she's got the whistle.
Yeah.
What about
It's
the
like
bit where he says, hold on when the boat tips? And he's like, hold on as the boat's falling. It's like, there's no way they could have survived that. Absolutely no way. You know the amount of G-force when it
They
goes down
survive because
the
of
water.
love.
Love. Let us
Yeah.
believe.
19-year-old strength. That's what
We
that was.
believe in love.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't survive, so I guess he didn't love her very much.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
But
She didn't love him. Could be
He
like a really
looks
clever
too
attempt
young
to get
to
rid of him.
be with her. She looked like his mum.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that thought that? He
I
looked
know.
Wasn't
really
she
young.
considerably
Oh,
younger
was
than
she?
him in
Very
real life?
young.
I don't know about
Yeah.
the mom, but
It was the way they did her makeup. The makeup of the 90s was very aging for women.
Yeah.
And like he's they're the same age, I think, around that time.
Oh, they're
they're
almost
1
the
year
same
apart.
age. But he always just had, like, he was very boyishly handsome. I think that just makes
Yeah,
him
he
look younger
was.
automatically.
Ugh,
So
I totally hate him.
When he was literally 19. He was 19 when he did that film. It's actually insane when you watch his Performance is so good.
It is
It's
good.
almost easy to forget
good.
that he's young and should not be
Yeah.
anywhere as talented as he was during that movie.
Oh, you haven't seen him in
Yeah.
Gilbert Grape, man.
Oh, I
was
have.
Yeah,
outstanding.
Yeah.
So good.
Outstanding.
He's a good
So good.
actor. He really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
It's too bad he's so
yeah, he
annoying.
does a great job.
Right. Kate
Well, now
Winslet
he's-
is really good too.
Who's that?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Matt.
I was gonna say Kate Winslet is a really good actress too.
Yes,
she was on that HBO Max show. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but she plays like a cop detective or whatever. It was really really good.
one of my favorite actresses.
Really?
I'll watch anything with her in it.
Yeah, she's really good. It was good, and I'm the same way. I'll watch anything she's in.
Really?
Yeah, what was it called? Oh shoot, I can't remember.
It was a
Hey,
recent
that's
release.
the
I know
Something
which
of
one you're talking
Easttown.
about.
Something Easttown. Hold on, give me 2 seconds.
Check it out.
You're probably
yeah.
a
Hot
faster-
Hot question while you're looking this up.
I got a cold
I didn't want to
answer.
bring this up because y'all are yourselves. But has anyone watched Yellow Jackets?
No.
Not yet.
No.
That's on my to
Okay.
watch list.
It's
No.
Little Platoon. I think you'd fuck with it. It's an all woman cast except for like one character, but they eat each other. It's so good. It's so
They eat each other?
good.
What?
Like,
Yes,
Like
cannibals.
literally,
It's,
or
it's like a
Yeah.
it's like a soccer team, like a high school girls soccer team. Their plane crashes in the forest, and they like spend like a year out in the forest, and they like. It's not even spoiling. Like the first scene is them eating each other. It's so good. You should
holy
give
shit.
give it a check.
I haven't seen
doesn't
it, but I've
sound
been meaning to.
Too good.
People are putting in the chat, but it's called Mayor of Easttown, just so you know. It's really
right.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it immensely.
Doesn't she break all the rules and stuff? Do you have that like one of those tropes where her boss says, "Give me your badge and gun"?
She grizzled.
Does it have
She
that?
does. She does break
Yeah,
the rules,
Maxine.
but there are consequences. Unlike
right,
some
okay.
shows, there are consequences to her actions.
Badge and gun, please. Badge and gun. Never had that in there. No.
I'm trying to remember.
She got a cool car. Is her boss black?
I will say no to the cool car, but I don't remember if there's a gun and badge scene. I don't think so.
All right. Okay.
She's got a cool car.
You sheriff and Joe.
But that's the trope, isn't it? In the
Calling
cop
out all
show.
the detective
Yeah,
tropes.
exactly, man.
Yeah.
It's not a cop show if she doesn't have a cool car, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
She's got a boss that sticks up for her to the commissioner.
right.
Yeah. And
I hung my
Buick.
neck out there for you.
And what about the line, "You've got 2 days, 48 hours"?
That's definitely not in there.
Does someone get shot and then the supervisor says he was 1 day away from retirement?
Sorry.
Somebody does get shot, but it's not a retirement.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. You hear that talking about cops, you hear they're going to do Lethal Weapon 5?
Yeah,
With Mel
that's been
Gibson and,
in the works for a while now. Yeah,
No,
but
they're
I
watch
actually,
it.
they're actually going to shoot it now because Mel Gibson's directing. So,
Oh.
Right on.
yeah, he's
I'll
directing.
watch it. Mhm.
But
Yeah,
he
I'll
looks
watch it as
really,
well.
really old.
Isn't
Seriously.
he?
Yeah, well,
He
don't we
is.
all get
He
really
still
old at
looks
some
good.
point in time?
It's all right. I'll still watch.
I'd
What
rather
about
Rush
Danny
Hour
Glover?
4.
Rush
I
Hour
would watch
4.
it. I would
yeah,
watch
Rush
that
Hour
too.
4.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Ooh. Really?
So
Rush
good.
Hour 4?
I don't think they can get away with that same humor anymore with Rush Hour. Because
No.
if they did
True.
Rush Hour 2 and 3 today, it would be controversial as
It
fuck.
would be done.
Maybe that's why it would
I
do
was
so
watching-
well.
No one would greenlight that.
Yeah,
though.
maybe.
I mean, maybe,
That's
but I'd
right.
go see it.
That's
I'd go
right.
see it.
Do you remember
me
that
too.
scene in it
Same.
where he goes, "What's up, man?" Remember that scene? Remember that scene? Like, will you get away with that?
I just man.
Mega, aren't you black? You can get away with that.
Well, yeah, kind of.
The stream isn't though. So.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I didn't say it. That's why I didn't say it, man.
The stream doesn't see color, okay? So
Yeah, right. YouTube does though.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a diverse people here. Diverse.
It is.
Yeah,
We have proud representatives of
Absolutely.
diverse peoples.
Yeah.
Definitely. We've got cartoons. We've got women.
Wait, I'm not
Yeah.
white. What?
That's what we mean, man. Bag face.
Beautiful.
Bag face.
My bag is white.
Well, speaking of diversity, not that we stick to topics anyway, but just nominally ticking off the list of things, we have the Netflix Queen Cleopatra, which is causing all kinds of stink at the moment. It's hilarious. I watched a bit of it actually before the
Yeah.
stream. It's not good. It's really, really quite bad.
Isn't it,
Has anyone else seen any of it?
Will
before I
Smith.
say?
I watched-
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of it.
I only
Will
watched
Smith?
10 minutes
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm out. I can't.
But you know
I-
you can thumb it down.
Horrible.
You know that, don't you? Oh wait,
do you
maybe that's just in England.
No,
'Cause
you can
on-
thumb it down here.
Oh, you can thumb it down. Everybody should
Yeah.
thumb it down, man. Seriously.
What does that
Well-
mean? Oh, thumb it down. Oh.
Yeah.
On
you
Rotten
just, like,
Tomatoes,
down.
Yeah. On
Yeah.
on
Netflix,
Rotten
yeah.
Tomatoes, Peter
Yeah.
Pan and Wendy has had the all user reviews. The percentage is gone, so that's
Yeah.
totally going to happen here with Cleopatra too. Because
Yeah.
it's at
Yes,
1%, which is
definitely.
fucking hilarious. Because I've been mocking this controversy for weeks now, and I don't know if I'll sit down and actually watch this.
I just hate when they say stuff is getting review bombed. I'm like, yeah, because it's bad. People are bombing it because it's bad.
And we're tired of it. We're
Yeah.
tired of it. That's
Like
the
even
thing.
even I went on there and gave it a Rotten Tomato because I'm like, I don't like it. It was bad, and I watched the whole thing. I'm not shitting on it to be a dick. I'm saying it's bad, and you made a bad product, so you deserve the bad publicity that you get.
And you should feel bad.
Yeah, right.
I posted a picture of Elon Elon Musk that was it, like he was completely black, and it like I said
Oh,
it was
yeah, I
the
saw
next
it.
Netflix special, right? And someone responded with calling me racist because I am wrong and Cleopatra was black, and showed me a mummy of another person that wasn't Cleopatra to prove their point.
Love it. Love it.
But she
I
wasn't
do
black though.
think-
That's the thing.
No,
she wasn't. She was Egyptian.
Well,
Yeah, and
she
I-
was
It's the
so like
theory,
her
but
ancestry.
it's this theory floating around that she was black because some people
It
say
is.
that she was.
And it's
yeah.
it's been the theory's only been around, I think, since the 1960s or something, like the first time it ever appeared, and it's come about as a result of sort of Afrocentrism and that whole political movement. Which and like Afrocentrism, I apologize to anyone in the chat who goes in for it, but if you do, you're an idiot. Because Afrocentrism, it's proof, paradoxically, that America is not a racist country. Because if America was a racist country, Afrocentrism would be laughed out of town. It's not a historical theory. It's insane. Yeah, I think that probably actually is in the documentary, that comment as well. It's myth making and it's compensating for a perceived lack of history, and it's uniquely African American. No one in Africa is an Afrocentrist. And it's been interesting to watch this unfold in the case of Egypt, because virtually the entire nation of Egypt is, I think, suing Netflix over this.
Yeah, they are.
And in response, it's been funny to watch. The Economist did a little write-up, and The Economist is famous for trying to make every insane thing sound as moderated as possible. And The Economist said something like, of course, the history of Egyptology as a discipline is rooted in colonialism and in imperialism. However, the Egyptians aren't very happy that Americans are telling them what their old monarch was. I said, well, which of these two things is more sort of culturally imperialistic? Is it the discipline of Egyptology, which is just we're studying the history of Egypt? Or is it predominantly African Americans, usually African American actors in the case of Jada Pinkett Smith, telling Egyptians what the race of their ruler is, and then telling them that they're racist if they don't agree with an American's idea of what the history of Egypt looks like? It's kind of an astonishing mess.
She's a foul
really is.
person. That.
That's
Well, she
fascinating.
is, and the funny thing is, because there's an interview out with the actress who play. I say actress advisedly because the acting in this is really special. But the actress who plays Cleopatra came out and basically said, well, of course, all the criticism, all of it, she says, is racist. But she also said, people are talking about the wrong things. We don't know where her mother was from or her paternal grandmother. But the show is about so much more than the question mark over her race. It's a really small part of the conversation. It's about the fullness of who the woman was. So I thought, well, that's interesting. I'm going to go away and watch this and see how much emphasis is placed on the race of Cleopatra. Besides the premise being, of course, that Jada Pinkett Smith wants to emphasize the role of black queens. That's the whole reason that this thing exists.
Who gave her money?
Yeah.
So they began, for a flavor of the writing, the introduction for this thing goes, there was a time long ago when women ruled with unparalleled power as warriors, queens, mothers of nations. They bowed to no man, their actions echoing unapologetically throughout history, and there is none among them more iconic than Cleopatra. Vixen or strategist, collaborator or maverick, her legend has been retold for millennia, but few know the real woman, her truth. Worshipped and feared by Egypt, courted and reviled by Rome, a leader of undeniable power that no one could afford to ignore. She loved deeply, she fought courageously, outsmarting her rivals. She walked through the sandstorm of history and left footprints so deep that no man could ever erase them. Because famously, you can leave footprints on a sandstorm. Well done. And then the first interview is with some random no-name professor who says she recounts that when she was at school learning, and she used to go back to her mother and say, this is what we've been learning about today in history.
yeah.
And her mother said to her, I don't care what they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black. So I'm struggling to square the difference here, because the actor told me that was not what this was about, but the entire documentary seems to tell me that it is entirely about that.
Hollywood's gone mad.
Yeah.
Come on, they've literally gone mad. I mean, who would give this woman money after
Oh my
she's
God.
basically made her husband slap someone?
I was gonna say, brought to you by the woman who fucking cucked her husband in public.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
Oh my
ridiculous.
Who
God.
slept with her son's friend?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And got married at
insane.
Epstein's Island.
Girl
Yeah.
power,
Yeah.
man.
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
It's crazy. Who knew Cleopatra needed girl boss treatment and that they could pull it off? And thanks to Jada Pinkett Smith. It's insane.
Right.
But also, I just like to point out, right, that and this is no disrespect to the actress that's playing Cleopatra. She's not very good looking, as far as I'm. If you're gonna have
I think
someone
you
of
can
color,
disrespect her after she tried to race-splain to the country of
Okay.
Egypt. I
Right.
think it's okay.
Right.
but my point is, if you're gonna cast someone, play, why don't they get someone really good looking? I'm just
Stop
saying.
being so
you know?
sexist, Ian. It's not about looking pretty for you, okay?
God
And
damn.
what's supposed
Cheers,
to be
cheers.
Cleopatra's whole shtick is that she is renowned as this one of the most beautiful women to have ever lived. It's why
And
she
she's
managed
not
to sleep with
in the show.
2 Roman emperors, which is kind of an impressive
why
feat.
Elizabeth
Halle
Taylor
Berry,
playing her
yeah.
is just so,
God's
you know,
sakes.
Elizabeth Taylor is one of those beautiful women I've ever
Exactly.
seen, and
Yeah.
it's just perfection playing
Gal
Cleopatra.
Gadot's playing her, isn't she, in a movie or something like
Well,
that?
Is that still
the
getting
acting
made?
wouldn't have improved.
Beautiful.
Sorry, what you say, Matt?
I said the acting wouldn't have improved.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it. No.
What with Gal Gadot?
Yeah,
Maybe they'll
she
play
She
that
just would have had a
guitar-
funny
guitar
accent that
cut
would have been out
open.
of place. That's all.
Yeah, I guess,
Yeah.
Kal-El, no.
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 There's enough wine to feel the Nile.
Oh, dear.
But it really shouldn't be understated how ahistorical it is, because the actor who says nobody knew who her mother was or her paternal grandmother was, as though it is actually a valid point of historical contention that Cleopatra might potentially have been black. It's not. I mean, the only people who believe this are kooks. That they are not sensible people. There is a pretty solid scholarly consensus about her. Like, she comes from sort of the line of Ptolemy, and Ptolemy was one of Alexander the Great's generals. That's the Macedonian side. There's a bit of intermixing with members of the Seleucid dynasty, but that's basically Persia. So to the extent there's any crossbreeding going on, it's largely Persian Greek. And then she lived all of her time in Alexandria, which at the time was a predominantly Greek city. It was very multicultural, but it was predominantly Greek. It's simply not the case. The people have this weird idea that the history kind of looks like the modern day does, which it really, really doesn't. Like, Egypt back in that time was not Egypt as you know it today. Arabs weren't around in that time, in that place. It had a different complexion, different languages, different political arrangements. Everything about it was different. But to say that is not to say that therefore everything goes, which is what this show seems to be trying to do. And I know Baggage came because you sent me something. I can't get it up annoyingly on the stream, but you sent me someone. It was on TikTok from The Daily Show. Was it? What was the one
Yes.
saying that it was? You'll know this better than I do. She was comparing it to a film, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was comparing. She was bringing up the fact that, how comes Egyptians have a problem with us saying that Cleopatra looks like her, because the woman talking is this black lady, and so she's like, how come you guys have a problem with that, but you didn't have a problem with the film Mummy? So that was her comparison.
What?
And
Wait,
she's
what
like,
was the
so
problem
you guys
with the
have
Mummy?
a problem with this? She's like,
Had Brendan
she says
Fraser
that-
in it.
Yeah, it's like mummies are coming after Brendan Fraser, and you guys
Yeah,
don't have
exactly.
a problem with that, but you have a problem with this. And it was just this weird. I hate using this word. I genuinely hate it, but it is this like weird gaslighting that happens in this situation. That it's like we have historical facts, and then people just want to spin it up with whatever ideology they're trying to cling to in that minute. And then if you disagree with it, then it's like, it's because of your imperial brainwashing that you're disagreeing with me. It's insane. So, never mind. I was gonna make another point, but I forgot it.
Hold on. Did Jada Pinkett Smith write this as well, or who
I
wrote
think
this?
she produced it.
Yeah.
She
now I
produced it.
remembered.
Far away.
I just remembered. The other thing was that they were trying to paint Cleopatra with this, like, trying to compare her to like modern morals, right? That she didn't really care about politics. They're like, she was more of a scientist.
What?
Didn't she fuck her brother or
God.
something like that, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she
She
No.
goes,
wasn't interested in the politics at all.
I think it was Ptolemy the 14th was her younger brother. She co-ruled with. So the Ptolemaic dynasty is really, really weird. They always married their brothers and sisters, or usually married brothers and sisters, as a means to sort of minimize claims by other ruling families, and somehow still managed to fall out and kill each other all the time. But she co-ruled with her younger brother, who was 12 when he was appointed co-ruler. But to consolidate her own power, she killed him. Lovely, charming woman, as you can imagine.
So she was a child lover and black.
Yeah.
Both here.
All of these things, like maximum diversity, map and black. But it's She is a really, really fascinating historical figure, though. I mean, she's arguably responsible for the end of the entire Hellenistic period. There's so much of genuine interest to say about Cleopatra. She shacked up with Mark Antony against Octavian, and Octavian went to war with Mark Antony, and Cleopatra took his side. She effectively led him by his dick into suiciding his own political career in Rome, to the point that he eventually died unknown and in exile. And she got Egypt invaded by Octavian in a vengeful spite, and she had to kill herself because she was ashamed of herself. And that was the last of the famous sort of post-Alexander Greek dynasties. The entire history of the Hellenistic era ends with Cleopatra's sheer fucking hubris, to borrow a phrase. So she's brilliantly fascinating, and it's a shame, really, that the Netflix documentary has just got everyone talking about the race thing. But they must have known that's what it was, because the whole premise of this documentary series is we want to tell untold stories about famous black African queens. It's like, well, okay, but then Cleopatra doesn't belong here, and that is clearly all you want people to be talking about, as opposed to the actual figures you're supposedly discussing. It's a real shame. Yeah, like, I want more documentaries of this time period. It's a really fascinating era.
So I recently did a breakdown of Peter Pan and Wendy because, you know, it's good for the algorithm. But instead of actually breaking down the movie, because everyone knows how bad it is, I basically did a rant on how I have this theory that all the race swapping and like gender switching of roles is pretty much like Platoon was just saying, is kind of purposeful, because it saves you a lot of money on marketing, because a lot more people are going to talk about your shit than if you had just tried to market it in the first place. Would any of us be talking about this show if it was cast with a Greek or like Persian or
Any
whatever
press
person?
is good press, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it feels like a lot of writers just kind of are lazy as fuck, and they just don't really care to actually research or write proper things, or kind of make a script that's entertaining at all. And instead of doing that, they're like, why don't we just we'll cast a black person, and then they could take all the heat for like how shitty our production is in the first place, instead of you know, I don't know, trying to put effort in.
People use, it's been pretty common knowledge for a while now that they've been using, like studios in general have just been using ism words as a shield to deflect actual criticism. But it feels like this year it's been breaking down. Like you had Velma, which is just like universally destroyed. Peter Pan and Wendy, and now this show too. Are the walls like crumbling down around this stupid ass excuse for why your product sucks, or what?
You know, have you ever seen Jungle Book? When the
Which one?
The cartoon, the Disney cartoon, when is it King Louis' kingdom was crumbling and he's trying to hold up all the walls. That's what it's like, isn't it? These people, right? It's all crumbling around them, but yet they don't want to admit defeat. Yet they don't want to admit that they're talking bollocks, right? That's what's happening.
Pull the racism card. Hold them back.
Yeah.
My analogy was basically like, it's essentially letting a slave into the house and kind of being like, oh, why aren't you guys appeased? And I think a lot of black people are kind of picking up on the vibe of like, hey, I think they're just using us instead of like trying to actually empower us. And I think that's what's kind of making it crumble, is when you have people that are, you know, supposed to be the represented by your media and like the choices you're making, coming out and being like, this is dumb. And it's essentially like creating more racists, I think. Yeah. It's kind of doing the opposite of what they think it's doing. And it's kind of making a lot of white people be like, I don't want to see another black person ever in a movie, ever. Like, I kind of agree.
Or
like, when Little Mermaid got cast, I lost my mind. I was like, God damn it. Like, I just don't want to see another black lead in a Disney movie ever again. I'm over it. I'm done.
I just don't know how people...
If it was just... Yeah, if they just stopped at the race swapping, then it would be fine. It's just like, fine, have a black character. That's totally okay. But it comes with this like litany of all this other baggage that no one wants to deal with.
Right.
And it's bullshit too, because it's just simple pandering. Like, here's an out of box example. Like, I used to live in Maine, and so in a really hyper liberal area. So like, if you go into a Target or a Walmart or a grocery store, you couldn't have plastic bags anywhere. You had to buy a bag there to reuse, because we're good liberals and we recycle. Meanwhile, I moved down here, and any Walmart or Target I go into has plastic bags fucking up the ass. Like, here you go, guys, use them, because it's just, they just pander to wherever they're going to make the money. It doesn't, they don't actually care. So I don't understand how anyone can actually be like, oh, Disney's really, they're really representing me. I feel great now. Thanks, Disney. Like, they don't give a shit about you. They're just trying to make money. That's all.
Right on.
Well, that's what it's all about.
I felt represented by a brown Peter Pan. I don't know what you're talking about.
Was Peter Pan brown in that show?
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I thought he looked more Italian to me. But then again,
He looked very he looks very ambiguous. To be honest, he looks very ambiguous. I had to look up where he's from, and then I
He
probably
looks like a little brown boy.
Yeah.
but not quite brown. I was like a little confused brown. That's what I would go
Confused
for.
brown.
we know a confused brown, don't we, boys?
Oh yeah, we do. We do know a confused brown. Yeah. The other thing as well, because like is it the Southern Poverty Law Center or the Anti-Defamation League, or maybe both of them? They both list "we was kangs" the meme as a racist trope because it's critical of Afrocentrism, which is weird. Like you can be racist for criticizing an idea, but fair enough. But the one thing that the Cleopatra thing arguably does in our favor is that there's two of me, is that now we can turn around and say no, but like that's literally what you're doing. You have just put out a We Was Queens documentary. So is it racist for us to point that out? Is the documentary racist for playing up to the meme, or is maybe the idea that meme is racist kind of shit and you should dispense with it?
Or maybe they're just not trying to hide that they're actually racist anymore. Maybe that's what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
this whole movement is
what's the end
racist
game?
at the end of the day, right? So
Yeah. What's the end game? That Pinkett Smith will make everybody believe what she's spewing out, and they take over the world. Is that the end game? I don't understand where this is going. Do you know what I mean?
I think she just hasn't had a proper dicking, and if she got that, she'd be set straight.
I really don't.
Where's
understand.
her son's friend? He needs to show up.
There you go.
Yeah, that
I'm sure he's
23-year-old.
on a-
That 23-year-old.
Will
Yeah.
Smith's not gonna do it. Okay, he's
Exactly.
done. He's broken. He needs a vacation.
I feel so bad for him.
I
Did
do
you guys
too.
watch that episode where she
Really sad.
told him
I
about
didn't watch
cheating? Oh, it was so sad. I felt so bad for him. I'm like, oh, you should have left her right then and there. I'd have been like, I'm out. I can't do this.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for him at all. Women like that give off red flags way ahead, and he chose to marry that. So that's on
I
him.
mean, true, but sometimes you love somebody and you just can't see it, and then you just want to stick with them because you just remember the good times and everything.
times.
So
Prince
I get
Harry
it.
right now.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, as soon as she said I got ran through, I'd have been like, I'm out. You're no good to me. So
Yeah. And she was not apologetic about it at all.
I
right?
know.
She was just like,
it was so.
she was
sad.
like, it was an entanglement.
Yeah,
It's just
man.
so messed up.
So
Yeah.
weird
Don't
to have
have-
someone like that kind of trying to push the like girl boss hyper feminism message too, because you're like,
Yeah.
you are so flawed as a human. It's weird that the message of feminism now is just like, you must be perfect as a woman. It's like,
No, the
that's
message of
right.
feminism is to be a man now, which is
Yeah, like you must be so
Yeah.
perfect that you're no longer a woman.
Yeah.
What is a woman?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Can't answer that question. It's whatever a man who says he's a woman can say.
It's wearing
is.
lipstick
It's totally
and
fine.
wearing dresses and
don't do
pink.
it.
Apparently.
Yeah, it's cosplay
I'll take my
now.
dress off.
Womanhood is cosplay. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
Bagface, are you
So-
sitting in your kitchen, or is that a green screen behind you?
no, look, it's real. I can reach back easily.
Yeah, because
Oh,
his cat came in. I saw him walk through that
Alright.
door.
No,
I love how
that's
I'm
actually an
pointing.
animation.
I thought it was a special effect.
I'm somewhat poor. I live in a small apartment. Montreal's
But you're-
very expensive because
You're a single dude, though. I get it. Hey, listen.
I have a poor girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not
got
single.
a cat.
Sorry.
My girlfriend's poor like
You know, I moved from across the country a little while ago, and I had to get a little apartment. And
It happens. It happens.
I do nice lighting, so it looks fancy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it
It
looks
does
good.
actually look
For
really
sure.
fancy.
I was just wondering.
I
whether
know.
it
I
was
live in California
real.
where it's super expensive, even a
I
one
d-
bedroom. So I feel.
But you
very
look great.
locked
It's
in here.
super
It
bright.
does.
I love
It does. It looks
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.
I love
I
that.
definitely think Vex is definitely green screened behind her. Definitely.
That cat is green screened as well. Right there.
CGI cat.
As long as Matt's kids are not CGI, then it's okay.
No, yeah. Give me a
They're, like,
minute.
running
They'll
in the
come.
back.
I didn't lock the door, so they might come in at some point in time, and then I'll have to close my camera. So. Yeah.
Ah,
So you
we're
won't
done
be
with
showing your
Cleopatra.
kids with Cleopatra then, I assume.
No.
No, they're not interested in that. They trust me. They're at the age where if they're not interested, they'll be like, no, I don't want to watch that. I'll be like, okay, that's fine.
Do you think they'll race swap King Tut, but they'll make him like historically accurate, so he'll have like the club feet and everything like that?
God,
Are we gonna get that maybe?
No.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. A crippled King Tut. That'd be great. Come on.
What about the
Who's
King
also
Tut and
black?
Batman?
Like if he had the little what are those? The crutches or whatever, just walking around.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Oh, I'd watch that. I'd watch that in a heartbeat. A hunchback.
I
King
would have
Tut,
much
that'd be
rather
great.
watched a race swap version of that than Cleopatra.
Yeah. Oh, that now I want to see that. A little crutch King Tut. That'd be so good. I would watch that in a
You
heartbeat.
could pitch it to Netflix, a heartfelt documentary
Oh,
series looking
gosh.
at like crippled monarchs who.
They're watching
Netflix
this.
is
Netflix,
accepting
do
anything
it.
now,
Do it.
so-
Yeah, they are. You don't. I won't even strike with the writers. I'll cross the picket line. I'll write it for you. It'd be great.
Yeah, what's
Well,
happening down there?
I guess
Jeez.
from one controversial woman to the disappearance of another, we did have that one last topic, which was the Aquaman trailer. I haven't seen this, but I gather Amber Heard is nowhere to be seen within it. But Movie Cynic, that was your topic suggestion. Do you want to?
That was Vex's topic
Oh,
suggestion.
it's Vex's
to
topic,
me.
which is Vex. Take us away.
No, just CinemaCon happened earlier or last week. So, and there was a trailer drop for Aquaman 2, which is supposed to come out in December this year.
Yes.
And as we all know, there's been that controversy because Amber Heard is a
A turd.
country.
A monster.
And then there was a whole, the legal thing, and it came out that she was a lying bitch and all that stuff. So she's essentially disappeared from the limelight since. And then there were a bunch of reshoots to try and cover up the fact that she's in Aquaman 2, because a lot of people were now saying they weren't even going to bother seeing that movie. So allegedly, the trailer that was shown at CinemaCon has basically cut out all of her. She's still there's still a Mira in the universe, and apparently Aquaman is a dad, which is really fucking cringe. But
He's
that's
a
a whole other
dad?
story. He's a dad, apparently, yes, in this trailer.
Yeah.
They've already fast forwarded to having that happen.
Yeah.
I know. After no relationship development, they suddenly, but it seems like she's an easy woman,
Maybe it's an
both
accident.
on screen and in real life. So
Is he going to be a bad dad?
probably.
I hope not.
There's a semen joke that I'm trying to come up with. It's not formulating, but I know there is one.
You'll get there. Maybe if
Yeah.
you put on the glasses, the sunglasses.
There you go.
Somebody with my inappropriate joke glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So can I say something hot take, but so I am going to, this movie is going to be so good. I love this movie already. I have cognitive dissonance. I am a huge Aquaman fan. He's been my favorite character in DC since I was a little kid. So I already love this movie. It's so good. I don't care how many beds Amber Heard shits in. I'm loving this movie already. It's so good. It's so good in my book. I love it so much. So yeah.
What?
What is appealing about Aquaman? Like, real question. Why do you like Aquaman so much?
He swims in the sea. He's strong. I mean, he's blonde, but in the movies he's not. It's Jason Momoa, and he's a hot piece of ace. I would bang him. And then he does have good storylines. They just haven't done it yet. But I loved the first movie. It was so good. And then like I said, I've loved Aquaman since I was a little kid, and I've always gotten so much crap for it. But it's my favorite character. I can't help it. So I'm loving Vex. What do you got? You're raising your hand. What you got? What you got?
No.
Yes, because I don't want to
annoying.
talk over anyone. Was
Oh, do it.
Aquaman
Everyone
a good
else
movie?
does it. I mean,
Yeah,
I literally just did
right.
it.
Aquaman was a good. I want to say right now. I'm going to defend this movie. This movie made $1 billion. It's the only DCEU
Hold on,
movie
hold
that
on.
made
Wait,
$1 billion.
so are
Let
you
me
saying that
finish.
because it made $1 billion, it's good?
No,
Let me
I'm not
finish.
saying that.
Was Aquaman a good movie, or was Aquaman just a good movie compared to everything else DC has put out?
Okay, listen.
Neither.
I am the wrong person to ask for this because I love that movie before it came out. So I'm the worst person to ask for this, but I honestly did think it was a good movie. But I'm the worst person to ask for this because I already love the second one, and I've only seen like 2 pictures from it.
I was being genuine though. Like I was asking, like, what's appealing about Aquaman, and you just said because I like him.
Well, okay, so like if you read the comic books, and I'm a huge comic book person. Well, not anymore because they're not very good. But when I was growing up, Aquaman appealed to me because a lot of people say he talks to fish, but he doesn't talk to fish. He reads their minds because fish don't have vocal cords, so they can't talk. So, and I loved, and I loved this dynamic he had with Black Manta growing up, and there was this and then his son ends up getting, and now that I'm a dad, so it really hits home for me. But his son is murdered, so I don't know if they're going to do that storyline. So his son gets murdered by Black Manta, and then he goes on like a revenge streak, and then there's an era where he gets his hand cut off, and he's got like a hook for a hand.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That's not my favorite part, but there's a lot about Aquaman in the comic books that I absolutely love that they haven't carried over into the films, but I think I just have, like I said, cognitive dissonance where I just love it no matter what because it's Aquaman. Yeah, he's a really great character from the comic books. The movie, I think I just like it because I got so much shit as a kid that I think that Snyder made him into this like biker kind of badass that I can be all like, oh, look at him, he's a badass. He's got tattoos and he's got like long flowing locks and everything. So suck it and everything. But yeah, I just, as far as Amber Heard goes, she is a monster. I do not like her, but I love that first movie. I really do. It's even if I wasn't a huge fan, I still thought it was a good movie. So
this is the first time I've ever heard the question, like, what do you like about Aquaman? Answered with, well, I was bullied as a child.
I can respect the nostalgia and the personal connection, but you still haven't, just objectively speaking, what made it a good movie?
Oh, no.
Right. Like I like Wolverine because I like
he's
just cool looking. I like his claws. Like is it something like that where you
the
like,
movie
he's
I liked
appealing like
the movie I liked it because like first off they showed the different kingdoms of Atlantis. They did take from the New 52, which wasn't my favorite, but they did take a lot from that. In the comic book they do a lot of different stuff from the comic books that they didn't do in the movie that I heard that they're supposed to do in this movie. Like he's got that necklace and that's a piece of like a relic or whatnot that's supposed to make something. I can't remember off the top of my head. I apologize. It's been years since I read that. Sorry, that was my kids. They're mad at each other. So in the first movie, okay, I liked the world building that they did under the ocean. I did like, even though it was very like, God, I can't think of the right word. Damn it. Like I like the whole cleaning the ocean because there's a lot of plastic in the ocean kind of thing. I did like that because there is like an island of plastic in the ocean if you look onto the internet. I did like that. Plus, I thought the acting was pretty good. I mean, like Wilson, what's his name? Patrick Wilson, is that his name?
Yeah.
Who played Orin. He did a great job. I did think that the visual effects were really good. I liked how they did the dry for wet thing. Even though Amber Heard is a monster, I think that Jason Momoa and Amber Heard, I don't think that they're good actors, but I do think that James Wan played to their strengths, which are few, but I think that he did that enough to where it made him look good in the movies. I do think James Wan is also a competent director, so I think that he did a lot to make that movie look good. I don't know if I did a good job. I'm sorry. I've been drinking a lot, so
weirdest review.
This explains it all.
Yeah, exactly. So much.
Good. I sold you. So you all love it now. Thank you.
It's the best review I've heard so far.
Thank you.
Because all I remember because I went to go see Aquaman in the theaters, and all I remember is seeing a bunch of women, legs spread, ready to get wet for Jason Momoa.
Ain't that the truth, sister?
I don't remember anyone actually talking about the movie, and I'm trying to sit here watching the movie. My friend's over here ready to diddle herself, and I'm just like, this is
she's clicking the mouse.
not a good movie at all. It was lazy.
Wait,
it was not
what?
paced properly. I didn't think the visual effects were particularly good
No,
either.
you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't.
And the sad part is that's one of the better things the DC EU has put out, unfortunately. So I'm just not. And the fucking Africa song remix that they had in the desert was another weird take.
Right? Yeah,
It's
that
a
was.
musical?
I didn't enjoy that. I wish they hadn't done that. I love that song, but yeah, you're right about that part. I get it if you don't like. I get it if you don't like it, but I can't help it. I just.
No,
I
it's
really
totally
liked it.
fine. I just I'm just like objectively speaking, like detaching myself from the fact that I think Jason Momoa is hot and all that stuff.
He is pretty
I
hot.
can't say it's a good movie. That's all.
Right on. Hey, I get it.
It
Agree
was
to
on
disagree.
It was markedly different though, wasn't it? So like everything else DC was doing was going sort of that dark and somber and sinister Zack Snyder route, and then you have Aquaman come out, which is like gloriously and surprisingly camp,
Fluffy.
and everyone flocks to see it. It was incredibly successful at the box office.
It was a Christmas release too, which helped.
It was also
quite a
great.
bit.
Yeah, it
That
does.
helps a lot.
So I wonder how much of that is just down to the contrast with everything else around it, and that's one of the reasons that it's well regarded where the rest are not, because Zack Snyder kills everything, and he wasn't.
Isn't
in
he?
this one
Isn't
too.
he in Fast X?
He
is,
is.
yeah.
Yes, he is.
He plays the
Actually
villain,
looks
right?
good.
Is it actually
Yeah.
called
Yeah.
Fast X, not Fast 10?
Yeah, it's
I think
Fast
it's, no, it's
X.
Fast X.
Oh
it's
my
called now.
god.
I know. It's not good.
You know
is
you're
it?
gonna review it. Why are you shaking your head? You're gonna have to go see that shit. You're gonna write little notes.
Well, I'll already
Actually
tell
kinda
everyone who's
excited.
watching. I am going to review that movie in bad faith.
Baggage Game, did you say you were excited for Fast X?
Yeah, I am. I don't know why. I think it's
Brie Larson's in there.
Jason That
Oh,
might
God.
put me off, but
you
Jason
know-
Momoa's in there. Let's go find out what's going on.
As long as you don't see her feet, it's fine.
I have to watch 8 straight Fast and the Furious movies to get caught up with that because I have never seen
Right.
any except the first one
No.
because I hated that movie. So,
Oh, I
But
saw the
you
first
really don't.
three.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
you really
go ahead.
don't need to watch it. There's no continuity to
Yeah.
it, really.
Yeah, you're right.
Like
Family.
we just put
That's
on
all you
like
need
a
to know.
random
Family.
film and we just yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Family.
the first three, and the third one is my favorite. And Vin Diesel isn't even in that movie. Nobody
Tokyo
from
Drift.
Yeah.
that's my favorite one so far. And I'm all like, when is that guy gonna come back and be in
He
the
did.
family?
He came back.
Oh, did he? See, I haven't seen any of them, so I wouldn't
No,
know.
not,
but
not the main guy, just Han. The
Oh,
No,
the
no,
Han
no.
guy-
The main guy came back. Do you
the
remember
white
him?
guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was in one of the the Fast and Furious films. I can't remember. Was it? It wasn't the last one. It was the one before. He guest starred.
Yeah,
in
now
it.
I have to watch it to see.
Yeah.
Didn't that fool Vin Diesel recently just say too that the finale might actually be a trilogy? So I guess it's not a finale,
What?
is it?
It was supposed to be
Like-
2.
They were-
So this was never
They're
the
gonna keep
finale.
stretching it out. We'll be seeing Fast and Furious 50 for sure.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
The
As long
one
as
that
they
when
keep
they
making
went
$1
to
billion
space.
dollars.
That's when
Yeah.
I lost it. I was like, a car in
Oh,
space.
yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Did it really go in space? I
They
haven't
did.
watched it.
They
So.
went
No,
in
I
space.
bet.
That's
I was like,
crazy.
what the
That's
hell? What is
crazy.
that all about?
It's like duct taped together.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. It's just
Space,
ridiculous.
no one can hear you. Vroom vroom.
That's so funny.
Did you
I
guys see
don't
the
understand.
offshoot that they did with Jason Statham?
Yeah.
I did see that
Hobbs
one, which
and
is
Shaw.
weird.
Vanessa
right.
Kirby was in that.
Terrible.
Yeah, that one was.
It was
I don't know
rubbish.
why I enjoyed it. I
Did
mean,
you?
you go there to kind of like turn off your brain. Like it's not like
Yeah.
a great film or anything like that. I would never make that argument. But it's just you turn off your brain, you watch good action, you drink a little bit, and you go home.
Right on.
Well, the realism has
Yeah.
disappeared from those films, isn't it? Because they're doing
Yeah.
amazing things with cars and
Right.
defying gravity and all that nonsense. Do you see that one where they're on the plane and they have the big climax on the plane? That runway must have been really long because it never took off at all, did it? Do you remember that?
Someone
one?
actually,
Which one was that
someone
one?
did the calculation. They calculated how fast they were driving, how long they were driving for, and superimposed the runway over a map of Europe, and it goes from Berlin to like Moscow. It's it's huge.
Wow.
Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous film. It really was. And nobody
See-
dies in that film, so when you think they're dead, they come back for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, I
such a
don't like that.
stupid-
Yeah, no.
I can
stupid
understand why
reason.
people like it. Like if it's it's entertaining, but it's not good. Because I kind of feel
Popcorn
like
flick.
I kind of feel like that's Little Platoon's
Yeah.
argument for like John Wick, the John Wick series. But at least John Wick actually does something for the action genre, whereas like Fast and the Furious is just there's nothing in particular that they do.
I don't know. I think it's its
Yeah.
own genre. That's the thing with Fast and Furious.
I haven't watched them because I hated the first one so much, so I wouldn't even know.
I don't. It's like the opposite of my type of film. But there was something very definitively Fast and Furious about that. No other film really does what I gathered those films do. It's like crazy, like car stunts with. It's this very strange and quite I think it probably is its own genre. There's bits of others in there. Like there's sort of high sequences that you might expect in like an Ocean's 13 film or something. There's sort of insane action that you would expect from an 80s action blockbuster. There's the fast car stuff which you'd expect from I don't know Top Gear or something. But they combine it in this totally unique way, and no one else really does Fast and Furious. For all that, I don't like them, but I wouldn't be as mean about it as to say that it's doing nothing for cinema. I think it's probably more distinctive than John Wick is, but
I would argue that, but I think it's way more popular.
I think it is. I think John Wick is so much better than all of them.
I agree.
Basically, I mean, because they just playing the same record time and time again. It's the same thing.
Is Charlize Theron any good in those movies? Because I really like her a lot.
Is she in that?
Yeah,
she's in
the last couple. Yeah.
I've seen her in the trailers. I don't want. I've literally only seen the first 3. I've just seen the trailers for the rest of them. So
she's so pretty.
She is. She's so hot. Oh my god.
Crazy pretty.
Huge crush.
Yeah.
I make your mind up. It's either Manoa or you know
well, I can have both. All right, you back off. I heard that she was going to be small thing. I heard they wanted her for Captain Marvel, but she was too old. They didn't want her to be that old, so they went with Brie Larson. I was like,
she's not old.
She would have been
she was older than what they were going for, and I was like,
she's almost 50 now. Yeah.
Yeah, she would have been a way better Captain Marvel than Brie Larson.
Nothing could have saved that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Rubbish.
What if she got topless?
She's already been topless.
I'm just saying that could have saved Captain Marvel. I would have went and seen it like 5 times.
We are in that position, but we do have 2 superhero installments coming out, I think both this year, both with deeply unpopular female leads arguably dragging those productions down. It'll be interesting to see like which does better of Aquaman 2 and the Marvels. Like, is Amber Heard more toxic than Brie Larson is? I think Brie Larson is more like low level but constant.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah. With the Marvels, though, it's 3 of them that are like coming into the lead, and then for Aquaman 2, they've basically erased Amber Heard. Like even a couple months ago, they were saying that they've edited because of how the test screenings were responding. They've taken a lot of her out. Like she's literally only there now because it's for scenes where like it wouldn't make sense to take her out, essentially. So
yeah. Plus, I heard that they legally have to have her in the movie. So that they bust her down to 10 minutes. And I was like, well, that's probably for the best. It's probably
I think
so
Brie
Larson's like
figure out. Brie Larson's kind of like a meme.
Yeah.
I feel like more of a YouTube meme. And Amber Heard, like I don't know if you guys ever look on Twitter, if you ever look up like Johnny Depp or Amber Heard, I full disclosure, I got canceled once, so I got deep in that all, and like it's pretty like people are like viscerally angry on like both sides. It's so
it is crazy. Yeah. I've been in arguments too with people, and it's like you can't say anything because then somebody attacks you, and you're like, you need to calm down, dude. All right, just dial it back a minute. Like people
you were in an argument. You?
Yes, I was in an argument. They just
what do you call him, a nerd?
I'm just like, listen here, nerd. You need to calm down, all right? I wasn't defending Amber Heard. I just said she did a good job in Aquaman, the movie, okay? I'm not saying it's okay to crap on people's bed, all right? Calm down.
Some people are into that, though, so it depends on the crowd
That's so. If you're into that, I'm judging a lot. It's weird. I don't get it. But,
It's one of the funnest jobs in Hollywood, though. Sorry,
what, shitting on someone's bed? What?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Whatever. Yeah, that's gross. Okay.
Backface, what did you get canceled for?
Yeah. Tell us.
Yeah, I haven't heard this story. Please.
You want to? I was in a band and I was the lead singer, and I was prolific with a certain sect of the universe. I slept with a lot of people, and As we got
Nice.
more popular, I stopped talking to certain people and they got really upset. So they decided to make some stuff up, and then it was like on the news and
On the
stuff.
news?
Yeah, I had to
Oh.
Boo.
disappear into hiding for like a year and then move across the country.
So you
But-
fucked crazy, essentially, is what happened.
Oh, I only fucked crazy. So
There you go.
yeah.
Man.
And, like,
God.
We got
Yeah.
a celebrity on here. Wow.
not anymore. I like commented. I remember like when the trial was going down, I commented on Johnny Depp, or not Johnny Depp's, Russell Brand's like YouTube, just like telling my story of like how I was canceled and stuff. And I got like thousands of comments of dudes just being like, "Yeah, this happened to me too." I remember one. It was like this mom talking about how like her son was like trying to marry this girl, and then she like went crazy and like started abusing him, and then he tried to get out of the relationship and she got him sent to prison for like assault, and there was
Wow.
like nothing that he could do.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn,
Holy
it's like
shit.
it's like out there. It's pretty
It's
crazy.
pretty
Terrible.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't happen in
Yeah, I
America
think-
by any chance, did it?
Didn't what?
Did it happen in America by any chance?
No, Canada. It's pretty much the same
Oh
shit.
God, it's even worse.
I
then.
tried to guess how famous he was. He didn't go to the Junos, which is like the Canadian equivalent of the
Right,
Grammys.
right.
So
Not that
I couldn't get
famous.
it.
Yeah.
I was on Warped Tour once. That's as famous as I got.
Oh,
It's pretty huge though.
yeah.
Yep.
Man.
It
Warped Tour
was
huge.
very hot.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was a hot time.
I bet it was. Yeah.
I would have done the
That's
same
terrible.
thing though,
That's really
Bagface. I
terrible.
would have done the same thing. I'm weak, so I would have. I was just like, what? Who's throwing what at me?
It's like people put like my addresses and my numbers and my parents' address and like I had a
terrible.
website.
You got
and,
straight
like,
up doxxed.
yeah, and it's weird and like it's I don't know. It always brings up the Amber Heard thing. Always brings it up in my brain because like
Yeah.
people don't really. I think that was the first time where people started to understand like people lie about this
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she went
Yeah.
on stand and it was like so obvious. You're like, oh, this
Yeah.
bitch is fucking crazy.
Her dog got stung by
Yeah.
a bee. All right.
Poor girl. No,
I'm sorry to hear that happen to you,
So I
Bagface.
had made
Yeah.
quite a few.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's awful. I'd made a couple of videos about the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation, and I saw in my comments so many stories of men talking about similar accusations being thrown at them, and that immediately people were so eager in their lives to believe the woman rather than them, and that it was impossible for them to try to like recuperate their reputation. It's terrible.
It's like it was
Yeah.
an unfortunate overcorrection of culture.
Yeah, sorry to
Right.
hear about
Yeah.
that, mate. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I
I'm
know.
really sorry,
it's
too.
It's kind of the same as like race swapping everyone. It's just one extreme to the other.
Massive
You're like,
overcorrection.
Yeah.
yeah, you just overcorrect to the other side, and it's the same level as bad
Mhm.
of bad as anything else.
Yeah, I mean, the Depp Heard trial was a lodestone for people who, they've been waiting for something like this to happen. Having been for years told that you believe all women, and many people, as you say, Baggage Cream, personal experiences of why you probably shouldn't do that, finally feel vindicated. That at long last, a rich and untouchable celebrity of the rich and untouchable Hollywood set has gone on the stand and been shown to have lied and faced the consequences for that. But she, I think that case drew more attention than it otherwise would have done, just because it is that first moment where people finally get their vicarious comeuppance and revenge against someone who wronged them. But it'll be interesting to see how much that still is in people's minds. It sounds like, for you guys at least, it's still kind of prevalent when you're ever discussing anything to do with Amber Heard, that this is always the stuff that it comes back to. So whether when this film comes out, to what degree she's in it or not, I don't know. But how much is this going to color people's impressions of the film as a whole? Because it's the other aspect of that case is that it's notable Johnny Depp is dropped instantly by absolutely everyone and hasn't got many of those gigs and
Yes.
roles back, whereas Amber Heard didn't lose. I don't think she lost any, did she? She still got all of her gigs.
No, she's been like Hollywood doesn't cast her in anything anymore. That's why she
Right.
disappeared to Spain.
Wow.
Her career is
think-
basically done. Yeah.
Johnny Depp
Yeah.
just got I think it was Dior.
Yeah,
One-
$20 or
like-
$30 million contract with
Yeah, he
Dior.
got like their largest contract ever that they've
Good.
given to a
Good for
celebrity.
him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
An
Good.
apology contract. Sorry for ditching you.
No, Dior's the only one that kept him through all the Amber Heard stuff.
Oh, they
actually.
did. Oh.
They're the
That's right.
only ones that didn't drop
Savage
him.
is Dior, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I mean, everybody else dropped him. And it's terrible because it was without any proof. And he talks about that on the stand. He says, like, the calls just stopped coming. Nobody wanted to believe me. People who had known me for years didn't believe what I was capable of. And it is terrible that in that correction, we're just jumping to another form of injustice. Because yes, there were times that people didn't believe women in situations, but it's also I do think that the lack of women being believed in the past is also overplayed to try to justify a new sort of injustice.
It's all about power now, anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we're in a postmodern world, so it's all about power.
I think it has to do a lot with like somewhat like societal guilt too. Like I think that's why race swapping happens a lot, because I feel like a lot of white people are just feel so guilty, and they've just been made to feel so guilty about things that they have nothing to do with, and like preconceived notions that a lot of people hold that they have nothing to do with. It's just like baked in through society, and a lot of people just want those to not exist so bad, but they have no time to address them, so they just take the easiest way, which is like, I will shun and rage at anyone who I believe is doing the things that I probably do in my head all day.
Gross
but you know what, right?
overcorrection. Yeah.
I don't believe in race swapping for the simple reason what they're really saying to people of color is that you're not worthy of creating a new character for you. So therefore, here's a hand me down. Here you go. You know,
it's not
that's
even
what they're
down
really
because
saying.
they're not even doing it properly. Is the other thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Those
very
jeans
condescending.
don't
It's
fit.
very condescending. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that Bagface, you do a good job of saying that in your Wendy and Peter Pan video, talking about how they put black people in movies and in TV shows, and then it ends up being shit. And it's like they get to pay less for these people of color, and they're just pandering, and then it ends up being a crappy project. And it's like, it just goes to people like myself, and I just go, why would I watch anything with a person of color when you're just checking boxes and I know it's going to be crap?
Yeah, it's making it worse.
Exactly. It's making it worse. Can I ask a question though about Aquaman 2, just real quick? Real quick. Are any of you gonna go see it?
No.
Yes.
I have.
You have to.
It's my job. Yes.
No, I'm not
Amber
gonna
Heard should have been fired. Absolutely,
For
should
sure.
have been
For
fired.
sure.
There's no way I would throw money at that. Absolutely not.
All of them
Even
defended
though
her
Jason
too.
Momoa is,
Jason Momoa
Even though
defended her
Jason Momoa
too
is
until
something.
basically the crowd came around and were like, no, we don't want Amber Heard anymore. Then he jumped on the anti-Amber Heard train.
Yeah, didn't you start liking
Yeah.
tweets against her, or like
Suddenly,
from the
yeah.
Depp side, and suddenly
Stay off
changed
Twitter.
his
What is
opinion.
wrong with these people? Just stay
Yeah,
off it.
they're addicted.
They can't help it. Can't help it.
But there's another.
Yeah.
We've got another, probable felon taking the role in a DC production imminently, because Ezra Miller's still employed, and the Flash is coming out.
Yeah.
That's the
Come on.
craziest one, in my opinion.
What did he like? It was brutal what he did to a pregnant woman
Yeah.
on tape, and he still has his job. I keep saying insane a lot. I keep
And that
trying
was
to
just the
stop myself.
first act as well, because he didn't stop with
Yeah.
that. He went,
And there's the whole
Yes.
kidnapping a child thing as well.
just kidnapping a child.
Oh,
Yeah, he took him to this weird ranch full of guns and drugs, and what else did he do? He basically destroyed every bar in Hawaii for a time, and then he was arrested for stealing, was it cigarettes and booze?
And there's booze out of someone's house in Vermont.
The hobo. It's just it somehow ends up in Vermont, of all places. Where in the world is Ezra Miller would be a really, really great cartoon show. But,
just what crime has he been arrested for today?
It's so weird to see like the director of the movie and like other people involved in the movie trying to be like, oh, and like there is problems, but just give such a great performance. Like, nope.
What was the
so
article?
There's a second chance.
he's been to therapy. It's all fine now.
There was an article published that said, I don't remember who it was, but it was crazy that someone said this. It was right in the headline of like, the Flash is so good it'll make you forget about Ezra Miller's crimes. And it
Really?
I've seen that on Twitter. Yeah.
Nice try.
I think the
Oh,
weirdest
really?
one, like all the crimes were bad, but then he did the whole like convinced a 12-year-old that he was this messiah and she was like some goddess
Yeah.
and they were gonna like run off together and like the world was ending. And then like that's when I was really like, oh, you're not like a criminal. You're not like a rich person who's like, I can get away with anything. You're like, you're fucking insane. Like you are a crazy person. You should not be anywhere near anyone.
Yeah.
Well,
And
But
people are
he's
still talking
trans,
this film up
so-
significantly. People
They
are,
are.
the studio in particular are talking the film
He's
up, and
not
a lot of
trans, he's
the
non-binary.
pre-screen reviews are all saying it's surprisingly good. It's one of the best superhero films of all time.
it's probably shit.
Yeah, I mean, I
probably
kind of wonder
shit.
how good can it be? But also, will people
Right.
actually punish the studio for sticking with Ezra Miller? Like, will they punish the studio for sticking with Amber Heard? Or is this over the heads of sort of most normies who just want
Yeah,
to
it's over the heads of most normies.
I think people are going to
That
punish
movie
the
cracks
studio
$1 billion.
because that. Oh, sorry.
No, that was it. I think it cracks $1 billion.
No, those Flash and Aquaman movies aren't even like in the DC universe anymore. So why would you want to pay money to go see it?
Well, it's because of Batman, isn't it? It's because of Michael Keaton. They'll all go
I
and see it
don't
'cause
think
of
that's going
Michael
to pull
Keaton.
as many people as they think. Like, again, this is supposed to be a Flash movie, and all I'm seeing are Batman trailers. That tells you enough right there.
I think you underestimate the power of the original Batman. I think so. I think a lot of people are going to go and see it. That's right. A lot of people are going to go and see it because of him. I'm telling you now,
Yeah.
not because of Miller, whatever his name is. They're going to see it because of Keaton. Definitely.
I am with Bagface. I think it cracks $1 billion. And well, I think it has potential too anyway, because the trailers do not suck. They don't suck. They're not bad trailers. And the power of the bat is real.
Yeah.
I really think so. So it has, if it doesn't suck, if it like holds up and actually can match the trailer, like if it has an 80% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 90% audience rating, it'll crack $1 billion.
Gotcha.
I think so, but it's up in the air. We'll see.
There's no way they bring him back though. There's zero chance.
Oh, no.
I think people will let it slide for this one because there's a lot of overlap of when everything started to happen and his downfall and the shooting and all that. But I think if they tried to bring Ezra back post this, people will be pretty upset.
But
I
there's a
agree.
bigger thing happening here with the Flash, and a lot of people don't realize what they're trying to do is eradicate the Henry Cavill Superman. Just the idea of going back and recorrecting and eliminating him from the original Man of Steel, which I hated, by the way. That whole Flash
me
thing
too.
is about eliminating the Man of Steel, Henry Cavill's Superman. That's what this whole film is about. Even though they've got Michael Keaton in it, it's so obvious that's what they're doing. And a lot of people don't see that, but I, the Mega Geek, does. So there you go.
But I do. Vex and I are hopping on a stream after this to dissect that piece of shit. So
Nice.
And there's one
Nice.
person on that panel that actually loves that movie. So-
that's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna make some popcorn. and
I
this
don't
bullshit.
hate that movie. There's some things that I do like about it.
Like what?
But well, I mean, I like the fact that it's if it was a real world situation where we come in contact with alien life, it might actually look like that, where they just attack us and they're like, whatever, I don't care and everything. But at
I
the
just
same
heard
time,
Ezra Miller go past in someone's back.
Really? You think that, Matt? Seriously?
yeah, but I mean, like, and I do like some of the visuals of it. Like, I like the way the Kryptonians' armor looks and stuff.
Oh, God, that looked awful.
You didn't like it? I mean, I didn't like the helmets, but I liked the
Yeah, the
armor
helmets were
of it. And
Tell you
but
what
I
I didn't like about it. I didn't like.
And
the way
can I
it's-
say one more thing that I did like? I did like the fight sequence between what's her
Zod.
face
Zod.
and the woman Fiora
Yeah.
and Clark in Smallville. That was my favorite fight sequence. I really like that a lot.
I didn't like it at all. I just thought it was stupid and dark and they don't even talk to me about his father, the way he
Oh, no,
died.
I didn't like that.
So
Yeah, I
bloody
didn't.
Stupid.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like
It's
that.
like the
It
worst
didn't make
written
any
Superman.
sense.
Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah.
The worst written Superman ever, in my opinion. It's just
Did you
and
guys-
they had the perfect Superman, which is the sad part.
Yeah.
Did you
he's-
see Zack Snyder's comment where he was talking about like BVS and Man of Steel,
what?
and he was like, "Oh, people just don't understand. It just went over their heads."
What an
Oh,
absolute
so sorry.
ass.
I'm so stupid.
I said this in the ground stream. It's because the scripts were rubbish. It
There-
was because the script was rubbish.
Dude, he is
Christopher
such an
Nolan
edgelord.
co-wrote that script, though.
It
is
was
the weird part.
rubbish.
Did he?
Christopher Nolan's head is
Yeah.
in his ass. I'm
Yeah,
telling you right now.
I agree. I agree.
He doesn't know what he's writing these days. He thinks he
Yeah.
thinks it's intelligent, but no
It's-
one
yeah.
no one
Yeah, he-
understands what he's writing.
he
Peak
did
was The
create
Dark
Tenet
Knight,
as
and it
well,
all
so.
went downhill after that.
I think Tenet's good. I'll defend that shit.
What, you think this movie that sounds like this is good? It's so good. Stop, you guys. Don't move anywhere.
God, okay, Tenet, literally, okay, when they got to the main fight sequence at the end, the climax, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in the same.
I said, who is fighting who? What are we fighting for? I had no idea. And I went to what was the desirable type of theater with the sound system and everything that it was designed for and mixed for. I had no clue what was going on.
Yeah, you can't hear anything. Me and my wife heard. I was just like, "Do you know what they were saying?" Because I don't know what they were saying. I have no idea what they were saying. Like it was like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, stop, go over here." And I was like, "What did he say?" And I don't know. And so it was.
The thing about Chris Nolan is that yes, he's quite a clever man, I think, but he just writes things that is. If you have to work hard to understand the film, I don't think it's worth watching it at all. I'm like, I was sitting there going, I understand this bit, and what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's confusing. Why should I be sitting through this? Why doesn't he make it simpler? You know, I just.
But
honestly, just-
Interstellar is perfection.
Oh,
I love
What?
Interstellar was
I-
perfect until
I love
the last
that
20 minutes.
I have to
I
disagree.
love it.
I
I
have to
love it.
disagree.
I
that is
couldn't
one of
stand
my-
it. I couldn't.
I couldn't stand it
It-
either.
That movie is has a little tattoo on my heart. It is just so perfect.
I think you should go to
And
the
that-
doctors for that.
Gosh. Gosh.
Or I can walk with it happily for the rest of my life. It's such a beautiful
Right.
movie. I love it so much.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
I don't
We
like Chris
disagree
Nolan.
on things though. I feel like for a big chunk of the stream, we're like all on the same page, and now there are all these like random movies that we're like, we're like, I'm gonna kill you! How dare you!
is anybody going to go see Oppenheimer?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody
No.
apart from me.
Yes.
I'm not going to see it.
I'm not going
Why?
to see it. I have no desire. I have no desire. Who
Oh,
wants
you
to
guys are
see a
so
movie
cool.
about some dude creating a bomb? Like, I'm not interested in that. It's
Who wants to see about a guy who talks to fish?
You'll
You said
defend
he does not
Aquaman,
talk.
but won't
He does
see
not
Oppenheimer?
talk to fish because fish do not have vocal cords.
There
He
you go.
talks to them mentally.
Well, that sounds stupid.
And if you don't like Aquaman, I get it. It's just a good film. I just
You're full of hot takes tonight.
You know it.
Get a couple drinks in him, and there he goes.
You know it.
Friends, I have to go. I'm gonna sign off, but it was so good to stream.
It was good to
It
meet
was a
you.
pleasure
You're
meeting
great.
you, Vex.
Lovely of you to come on.
You guys-
Just before you run, do you want to plug anything? Have we got anything coming up that you want people to be aware of?
Yes. So I'm working on like the hardest video of my life probably is I'm talking about wokeness and trying to understand it from a very high level and on the insanity of American culture, Western culture right now. So that will be coming out at the end of the month. So look out for that. And please subscribe if you are interested. in my channel.
Subscribe.
I subscribed today. I watched 2 of your videos. They're great.
Oh, thank
Links
you so
will
much.
be in the
Yes.
description. And thank you so much for taking the time.
That's
It's great
all.
to have you on.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me on. It was wonderful.
Bye,
Can't
Good
get
luck
no
with the video.
package. Go on.
All right. Bye.
Off.
Bye.
Bye.
Brilliant.
And then there was 6. Oh, jinx.
Well, was there anything else in the docket for us to talk about, or are we moving on to super chats?
I don't know.
Let's super it. Let's
I
do
Yeah,
it.
can't
super
believe that you'll defend Aquaman and not Aquaman.
Yeah, I can't either.
I
Can't
don't
get over
understand
that.
how you guys can't love that movie. Not only was it fun, but like that battle scene at the end when they're like under the ocean and they're like lobbing fireballs and stuff, and like it was so much fun. What are you talking about?
But
Come
who
on.
wants to see a movie about a guy build a bomb?
It's
Yeah. Listen, I'm sorry, but listen, Christopher Nolan is so pseudo-intellectual. Like, he thinks he's just so smart, and I'm just all like, I ain't got time for your big bag
Yeah,
of
but-
I don't
but
even
he's-
care
but
about the
he's
fact
not
that it's a
writing.
Nolan film. It's about
he's not coming up with the story for this one. This is adapting
book.
a real life
And-
event. Someone in chat pointed out that his Dunkirk was okay. I would slightly push back on that because I think Hitler authored Dunkirk, so we can't really credit Nolan for writing that one. But nevertheless, it was an okay adaptation. I still think the 50s one is better. But no, I think he's stronger when he's doing other people's scripts or when he's working to real life as opposed to when
who
he's
wrote
just
the script
given free
then?
I mean, maybe, but
Who wrote it?
What
Yeah.
for Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
I think Nolan probably has done the script treatment, but it's based on real life. So technically, the key events of the script are already written. He's just adapting.
It's based on a book. It's based on a book about Oppenheimer.
And
About
his
his
brother,
life.
him and his brother wrote the screenplay. Yes.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
I would
I-
guess.
I-
yeah, I just have to
Christopher
say, even if
Nolan,
it go ahead.
Kai Bird,
Kai
and
Bird.
others.
That's a weird
Martin
name.
Sherwin.
Oh, based on the book
Sherwin.
by Kai Bird and Martin
Ah.
Sherwin, based on the book by. So,
So
he
he
just
just-
adapted it for the screen. That's all.
Is it just him that wrote the screenplay?
It
Or is
just
it him
says
and his
written for
brother?
the screen by Christopher Nolan.
Oh, okay.
And
All right.
maybe I'll go see it. If there's nothing out that weekend, I might go see it. I'll take
Barbie's
the
out that
missus.
same
Barbie.
day.
Oh, I'm not seeing Barbie. Fuck that noise. You know what's so funny about that? I showed my daughter that trailer because I was like, hey, baby, you want to go see Barbie? And she's like, no. And I was like, what? It's got Barbie. And she's like, I don't want to. And I was like, all right, if you don't want to see Barbie, that's fine. So I'll probably see it. I'm all talk, but I mean, I don't know. I don't really care about how the atom bomb was built. I don't give a shit. So
Why?
I mean, I'll probably see. Although Nolan is really annoying, so I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably see it because I saw Tenet and I wasn't interested in that at all. But I was literally the whole time I was like, what did he say? I am so confused right now. So I wasn't until after it came out on whatever and I could put on the closed captions. I was like, oh, that's what he said. I was like,
I only went to see it because it was the end. I was coming. The cinemas were reopening because of COVID, and I only went to see it because I was desperate to go to the cinema. I went to see this film, and I was so upset. I was like, "What does this film mean? Why is it here?" Do you know what I mean? So-
On Aquaman, I was gonna say, it's weird because, like, I don't know if you've seen *Malignant*. Like, I think there's a certain style of movie where James Wan's style is just so good for the context of the movie, but his style in like an Aquaman movie just threw me off. I guess I don't know if I was expecting more Zack Snydery or more, I don't know, basic kind of production.
Malignant's a fantastic comedy. I just want to throw.
So good.
Oh,
So good.
I loved *Malignant*, so I mean,
Yeah, I love, but I think I love *Malignant* a lot because James Wan's style in it just fits so well to like that kind of dark humor and like really over the top. But it just felt too much for me.
Yeah.
At least I don't know.
oh, okay, well.
I still love you.
Well, you guys suck, okay?
Oh, Little Platoon's got up. He was just sleeping just
yeah,
a
he
minute
was-
ago. I
Yeah.
just woke up.
If I look down too low, then he sort of goes to sleep. It's not actually me sleeping. Loses track of my eyes. Rightio. Yeah. Are we sticking around for super chats, or have we got? Does anyone else have anything they wanted to bring up?
Let's do super chats. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Superman chance.
Rightio. There's an exciting new feature on StreamYard where it automatically stars
I
them, which
saw
means,
that. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, we shouldn't miss any. Somehow we probably still will. But yeah, we'll see what happens. First up, from Jonathan Frost for $20, Foundation Season 2 is coming July 14th. Star Trek Strange New Genders Season 2 on June the 15th.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, Foundation Season 1 is an odd one because I really like the books. I remember putting the show on. I didn't hate it, but it is very different, and it's only sort of a loose adaptation. The production value on all Apple TV stuff is exceptional. But I'm not sure where I stand on Foundation. I will still watch it though. I didn't hate the thing, so that's a start. As for Strange New Genders, I'm probably not going to be watching that. But anyone else?
I've watched Foundation twice because the first time I watched it, I remember there's the storyline on like with the actual Foundation. I can't remember the character's name, but like the black girl
Harry
with like short
Seldon?
curly
Oh
hair.
no, her. I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
either.
yeah. Like her whole storyline, she is like the worst actress I've ever seen in my life, and it's
Yeah,
just
she is.
so hard to get through. But everything else in that show, like Lee Pace, is that his name? The guy who played
Yeah,
Ronan.
that's the one.
Yeah, he plays like the Emperor in that. He is incredible. His whole storyline is so good. The production is insane, and it just bummed me out that like a third of the show, it feels like I'm watching like Game of Thrones in space, and then it cuts away to Riverdale for like 20 minutes of every episode, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's just so odd.
I have a feeling she is the sole creation of the show as well. I don't think she has any analogy or analogous character in the books. It's been ages since I've read those. But yeah, no, you're right. They are far and away the weakest part of that entire production, because she's not... I mean, I've seen trees with more facial expressions. So.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Speaking of space stuff then, Banana Boy for $2 Australian. Jennifer Lawrence was the first man on the moon. Yes, she was.
Facts.
First
no
woman to ever
lies
play a mother.
detected. No lies detected.
She was there when the moon was made, I think.
Moon landing's not real.
She was the one that directed the moon landing then.
She
First
directed
person.
the moon landing.
Facts. Listen.
Almanac for $2. Ted Lasso is super woke now. Sorry, HR training video. I've still never seen it, so I couldn't say.
I really
watched
wish
the first 2 seasons, and I like the first season better. All I've heard is bad news about the third, so especially from you guys, that sucks.
I really want someone who's watched the third season so I can literally there's an episode where they decide to try bonding with each other as a team, and their bonding exercise is to pair off and tie strings to their dicks.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, it's the third. The last one I watched was they were talking about if you have nude pics of your ex-girlfriend on your phone, and one guy was all like, "Oh, I delete them. It's out of respect." And I'm like, "You delete
No, it was I give my phone to her. And
Oh yeah,
she
that's
can
right.
do
That's right.
whatever she wants. And
Yeah, and
deletes
I'm
what she
yeah,
wants
that's
off
exactly yeah. And I was like, why would you do that? This sounds insane. I would never give a chick to delete the nudes off my phone. I'm keeping that shit forever.
There's no storyline anymore. It's just all meant to push a message, and it's actually a shame because that first season was really
so
really
good.
good.
That sucks
Yeah.
because like the message of the first season was like wholesome as fuck.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
Super wholesome, man.
Lost
like
all
they
of
were
that.
like good messaging, like for
Yeah.
a universal message of just
Yeah, and I'm like,
caring
is
about
he
people and being
is
a
he
good
still
person.
trying to get his wife back? I'm like so confused on that thing. I don't know. I'm like 2 or 3 episodes behind. I can't remember, but I was like, I don't know. I'm just watching it to finish it. I'm like, let's get this over with. So,
Damn, that's too bad.
yeah, it is too bad.
I'm gonna
And I want
start,
those biscuits, those little cakes he makes.
Oh yeah.
They look delicious. I was like,
They
I
do
don't know
look
where you get those from, but
Vex, would you like to read this super chat for us?
no, she would not.
She's
Give me a
literally
moment.
just
My
gone.
cat needs to get out. Sorry.
Perfect timing. Backface, would you like to read this super chat for
I
us?
got you. I look forward to Bob Iger's next investor meeting when he declares Disney/Hulu/ESPN the largest streaming platform in the world. Got those 4 million back. Sounds logical to me.
That is so true.
Yeah.
I mean, factually, it's not untrue, though. Once they put all those together, they will have the largest streaming platform in the world. So
The thing is, are they going to make you sign up for that package? Because I'm not interested in Hulu or ESPN, like, at all. And I'm like,
Well, I
wanna
wonder
they're going to
how
roll
many of those
together
are
and up
crossed
the price.
anyway. How many of those are already crossed anyway? Like I am a subscriber to Hulu. I don't watch that shit, but I just buy it for the package because I like ESPN. So I watch that. I don't know.
Yeah, I only have Disney, and I'm not interested in Hulu or ESPN. So I'm like, I'm not going to buy that stuff. I don't care. It sucks.
It's weird. I was going to say when we were talking about streaming, it's almost like a weird like flex of every streaming company right now, because I think they're all just hemorrhaging money, and it's just who's going to last the longest, hemorrhaging the least amount of money to be the last one standing that just gets sold all of the content from the other streamers that implode.
Netflix.
That's what it feels like. I think Netflix will die before Disney does.
You think so? They're the OG.
That's why they'll die, because
you think so?
and their president came out during CinemaCon and was talking about how they're still not pushing their movies out to theaters because that's not their model. Like, this dude does not understand shit. They're gonna get eaten alive.
No, and they announced ages ago that the tiered subscription plans and the cheaper ones have adverts, in which case all you're doing is paying to replicate the worst features of the cable networks that the streaming service was supposed to transcend. So,
and we go back to the way it was always.
Yeah, I mean, I think, to be honest, it will come down to which company that owns a streaming service has the strongest sort of underlying business model.
Amazon.
Amazon or Apple. I mean, yeah, both of those,
I would-
two can afford to go forever. I don't know about Disney because Disney is not in rude health as a company generally, and Netflix doesn't have that sort of that bed to fall back on. So I would guess
Disney
that the
has
big
like
three.
20 different companies under their umbrella, right? So there's a lot of streams for revenue there.
I don't understand, right? When I'm on Instagram, there's adverts for Disney. When I'm listening to the radio, there's adverts for Disney. On TV, there's adverts for Disney. And you're telling me that they're not making money? How are they finding money to put adverts out everywhere? Seriously, I don't see an
Borrowing.
advert for Amazon anywhere where I live.
Yeah.
Disney's
They don't
everywhere.
well, I see advertisements for Amazon more than I do Disney.
Really? Over
Yeah.
here, it's just Disney.
Yeah.
Everywhere, it's Disney.
Actually, I get Apple and Amazon a lot for me.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't get any of these.
Oh, Amazon makes really good commercials.
Do you guys do
Just
do
saying.
you guys pay for the non-ad versions of everything, or do you pay for the ad versions? Because I pay for the no ads. I'm not
I
interested
don't.
in ads.
I pay
at
for
all.
no ads. That's why it's weird when I hear people complain about ads on my videos because I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like,
Yeah, the only thing I don't pay for ads are on YouTube, and man, is that annoying because it's like some guru being all like, "Come and witness the world around you," and I'm like, I don't know what. I'm not interested in this at all. What is going on here? I'm like,
But there are different platforms you can go on that eliminates the adverts. Like I'm on Brave at the moment, and that eliminates
I
all
don't
the
know what
adverts
that
from.
is.
Yeah, well, I think it might be an English thing. It's
Maybe.
Brave, and it just
YouTube
eliminates all the
was,
adverts on YouTube.
YouTube's experimenting already with getting rid of ad blockers. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, I understand both sides because, like, that's how I make a huge chunk of my income is through fucking ads. Like, I have to have
That's
it.
right.
I cannot
Because of the
produce
last
content.
one,
Right.
you did an advert, didn't you? For
Well, right. I put a sponsorship in my
That
video.
was it,
Yeah. But
yes.
also, so it's like.
What a
50-50
sellout!
there.
What's going on? You selling out?
Selling out since November.
I'll sell out. I'll sell out any ads that want to be on my YouTube channel. I'll sell out. And
I
I'll-
feel like
I gotta make an income somehow, man.
I will sell
Platoon
your
scheduled to sell
guru
out at the end of
shit.
the month. In fact,
Platoon.
There you go.
Right.
Do you ever do sponsored segments?
I've done one. I try not to do them very often, and also I'm too incompetent to actually reply when they're pitched to me, so I've missed loads. To the like immense annoyance of the agency that represents me. Like every 2 weeks, I get an email usually saying very politely and in a really lovely way, sort of we do kind of need you to respond within 2 days, otherwise the opportunity will go. Yes, I know. I'm really sorry if you're listening. I'm still very sorry. I think I'm selling out in this manner toward the end of this month, or maybe. Yeah, around the time of the Little Mermaid, I think I've got one. But
Proud of you.
yeah, I try and sort of spread them out so it's not on every video thing.
That is why I do a sponsor, Zens, because
So
I
not only
don't want
do
it to depend on ads.
not only do you have to do the review for your thing, you also have to do an ad.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pressure under it too,
Wow.
because you have to deliver like certain. Not that anyone in the chat gives a fuck,
Yeah.
but like depending on the model, like you have to deliver a certain number of views, so you have to be pretty good at predicting what's going to happen. Usually, and so there's a lot. Like, I was happy to quit my regular job to do this full time because I love it. I absolutely love it. But there's a new sense of pressure I've never had before ever.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
I
cool
just
though.
time ad placements around things. The only one I've done so far was NordVPN, and that was when Velma was on. So they said, we're going to need you to hit 250,000 views in a month. So, yep, I can do that. That's fine. It's Velma. So I'll hit that in a week. That's all good.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like, well, what's coming up that's probably going to be really controversial and do really well? Oh, The Little Mermaid's going to be popular to shit on. So I'll take an ad at around that time. But yeah, this is all backroom YouTube talk.
Yeah, no,
So,
no one in the chat gives a fuck about this at all.
The history of humanity will be told in the ways we tried to avoid ads. There will be books on it.
I don't mind ads, in all honesty. I mean, it's a hot take for me. I don't know. It's a good chance to do a bathroom break or do a couple push-ups, so I'm not just like sitting the whole time.
Yeah,
Right on.
I try and, like, when I do a sponsor, I try and make it entertaining. I'm getting better at it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get better at it as I go, but I try and at least make you laugh or, entertain
The
you.
VPN company let me compare them to a condom. I was very happy with that. For $20 from Neanderthal 2020, who is a man of few words, but he's very generous and we appreciate him very much. Princess
Yes,
Fiona
thank
has
you.
joined. Welcome
Hey,
to the
Princess
channel.
Oh,
Fiona.
I love Princess Fiona. She's great.
Me too.
MatKat, would you care to read this one out? Because I can't pronounce the name.
It's Xeno
Anime?
me. Yes, look at you. Hey guys, who are your favorite MCU villains?
Okay, strap in, chat. We're going to go for another 3 hours.
Are we talking just movies or comic books or both?
MCU. I would
MCU.
say.
MCU.
MCU. So movies.
I mean,
Well, there's only
There-
one big bad, isn't there?
Well, no,
Yeah,
but they do
but I
have
mean-
some under the radar.
Thanos is
great
cheating,
villains.
so
Yeah,
like,
Thanos
we're not
cheating.
allowed to say Thanos because
Yeah,
that's
Zemo. Zemo from Captain America: Civil War, easily my favorite.
yeah, he's really good. Yeah, he's really
Yeah.
good. I wish they would do him like the comic books. I mean, Vex,
Well,
you
he
brought
has
him
the
up. but-
mask now in that stupid fucking.
Yeah, I really
Falcon and Winter
wish-
Soldiers show. That
Yeah,
just sucked.
if they just did it like the comic books, they could be so good, but they don't because they're afraid to go too bad. Like MODOK could be so good, but then they went all like hokey and everything, and it's like, oh, you guys could have made him really good, a really good villain, but they didn't do it. They didn't do it. But I kind of liked Hela a little bit. You know, she was kind of fun, but then they killed
yeah,
her, or
she was
did
okay.
they?
I really like the High Evolutionary in Guardians.
Yes.
Oh
and-
yeah,
right.
he was
yeah.
great.
He was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yes, I did like him a lot.
I think he's he should have been in 2 or 3 movies. They should not have crammed him into
Well,
one
he's not.
movie.
You don't see.
Yeah,
him
you
die,
didn't see a body.
You didn't see
see a
him
body.
die,
You know
even
the
though-
rule.
even though they Batman
Fair.
beginned his ass.
Well, Rocket was going to shoot him, then he didn't.
Yeah, he would be
Yeah.
a better
No, they
villain
just
for the
left him for
overarching
dead.
thing than Kang. I think he would have
Exactly,
been a good
agreed.
phase
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
villain,
Really
Yeah.
good phase 4 villain even as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm
I
trying to
think my favorite
Does-
villain is Captain Marvel.
That's sexist.
She is the evilest of the lot. Are we counting Loki as a villain? Because if we can
Yeah,
count Loki, I'll
yeah,
probably go
for
with him.
sure.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a shout out to Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster as well, just because it's Jeff
It's
Goldblum.
quite funny. Yeah, it's quite funny.
Loki was nice
Marvel,
until
uh,
Avengers 2. I think like because they tried to soften him up too much in like Thor:
Yeah.
The Dark World, and that's where he kind of went. Yeah,
Mm.
like
And
up
do we-
until Avengers, he was good.
Yeah, and do we count Winter Soldier as a villain in that,
That was
second?
my ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say so. Like if they were a villain at some point, then yeah, I'd say that.
Then
counts.
he-
I'll
I
go
really-
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I would
Winter
say Winter
was
Soldier.
fucking awesome.
Yeah,
too.
he was really good in that movie.
That
Um,
fight with him and Cap. Oh my god! I
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
good.
that clip.
Yeah.
I love that.
Unreal.
Yeah, I love that Nick Fury in the car sequence. That was like
Ah,
that's like
that
one of
was
my
great.
favorite. Yeah, I love
That
that.
was
That
great.
was so good.
Want to see my pink slip? Yeah.
Want to see my lease?
Yeah, my lease. Yeah, it's great.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
there's so many. I mean, I kind of like the Obadiah Stane. I kind of like him also, but they just didn't. I don't know.
I just like Jeff Bridges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's maybe that's
I didn't
what
like
it is.
the
'Cause-
character.
Yeah, I really like Jeff Bridges too.
Who was oh God, what's the name of the villain that Edward Norton Hulk fights?
Abomination.
The Abomination.
Yeah, I
Oh.
liked the Abomination. I would have liked to see him again
Yeah,
outside
but
of
then
I think it was in
She-Hulk
She-Hulk.
happened.
Yeah, then She-Hulk
Yeah.
having a really
Yeah.
long nose.
Don't remind me, Platoon. Why do you ruin everything?
Yeah.
I can't think of a villain that I like from the MCU.
Yeah, like
Oh, it's hard.
yeah, they have a problem.
They either
Oh,
kill
some
them or turn
Red
them into
Skull.
good guys.
Red Skull is really good. I love that first Captain America movie. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's
I
I think
very
it's pulpy
comic
fun.
booky
I
to me.
like it. I like the
liked it a
first.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really hope they bring Red Skull back because there's a lot of stuff they could do with him that they don't even like try to do. And I mean, it would just be cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm too big of a comic book fan, but it'd just be really great if they just really like actually went like Kevin Feige wants to be like, I'm a comic book guy, and I'm like, are you though? Because like I don't know, you take it to the line and then you take a step back, and it's like just go over the line and just do it, dude. I promise you will love it. I promise.
The things that they decide to directly adapt from the comics sometimes it's just like mind numbing. Because I'm like, you won't do X, but you'll do Y. Like you'll actually put the little fucking
Right.
fairy wings on Namor's feet, dude. Like you decide to directly adapt that. Come
Yeah.
on.
But he he was okay before he joined up with Disney. The stuff that he was in charge and he was doing the right things in Marvel.
Why do people
I
say
am-
that? There were only 3 movies before he joined with Disney. Like, why is there?
No,
it
even
wasn't
when he
like some
joined-
huge background of.
No, what I'm
fucking-
saying is, even when he joined with Disney, he was still more or less in charge until he got infected by the woke thing, and then everything went to shit.
I feel like that's every studio.
Mm.
Every
Yeah.
studio did, unfortunately.
Are we counting X-Men in here? Because I quite like Magneto as a villain.
Oh,
Yeah, he
if we
was
want to
great.
go that way, then Doctor Doom is my favorite MCU villain, hands down. That dude
Don't
is
think the
fucking awesome.
MCU technically encompasses the X-Men yet, does it?
Yeah,
yet.
Not
it
yet.
doesn't.
Okay.
But I do like Doctor Doom also.
We got Professor X and Multiverse of Madness. You could say by extension we have Sam
That
Magneto.
that got snapped. That was good. Oh
God.
God.
Yeah,
That film is such a
That
head
is
fuck.
such a bad
I
movie.
perversely
It
really
is.
like it just because it's so bad in so many ways.
So bad.
So bad.
I
That
do
could have
li-
been good though. That could have been good.
Yeah.
I do
I
like
think-
I
Sorry.
do like Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
yeah. Since
good.
he
And
is
Dr.
technically
Octavian?
MCU now.
Yeah. Those characters are really good. Even
Willem Dafoe.
Electro. I liked Electro in that Spider-Man No Way Home. I really liked that one
Oh
too.
yeah, and the Dr. Connors was good
Yeah,
too. I
yeah.
thought Reese Ifans was great in that.
Oh
in
yeah,
that role.
yeah. Yeah, it's just dependent on who hands you put it in because I didn't really like Electro in the Sony
original
movie.
one, yeah.
It sucked. But in this latest iteration, I did like him a lot.
Yeah.
No, since Willem Dafoe is now technically Tom Holland's Spider-Man's Green Goblin, that was a fantastic performance. That was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
The initial, the first time they actually fight and they are fighting in the hallway of
And he
outside the
laughs.
apartment. Oh yeah, that like
Getting elbowed in the
anytime
head.
I watch it, I still get goosebumps. It was so
it's
good.
really good.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
They must have spent
so
a whole
fun.
month shooting that fight. They must have done because that fight went on for a very long time, and
It was so
you had
good.
floors being smashed, everything, and it blue screen
Practical,
and all that
too.
stuff. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
must have
Yeah.
taken a whole month to do something like that. It's great.
Indeed. Vex, are you available now to read this super chat?
I am. Yes, I have no cats present. I snuck to watch Jaws when I was 5. Scare the crap out of me, and it made a great competitive swimmer, fast and out of the pool, so wouldn't catch me. Thank you, Claudia, for the $4.99 US dollars.
Can I add on to this real quick? Okay, so I like to run, and I've been out of it for a little while. But so when I used to run every day, like on a daily basis, right? I added onto my playlist. I added the sound effects from Friday the 13th, the and I ran through this little park, and it was like nothing but trees. So I'd hit shuffle, and whenever that came in, I swear to God, I was like booking it through that forest park. I was like, oh my God, it was and I swear to God, if you add that to your playlist and hit shuffle and it pops up, I swear to God, you'll go from 8 minutes to 4 minute mile. I promise. It's so I get the swimming faster because of Jaws. I totally get it.
I'd never even considered using horror movies horror soundtracks to improve my
Do it.
cardio exercise. I might
Do
do that.
it.
Closest I got, my friends and I used to play sort of like 1-on-1 or like 2-on-1 Call of Duty, but we had the Predator soundtrack on and all the lights off. So just one person had to put everyone
Nice.
else down. And usually ended up with someone getting punched. It was great fun.
A great soundtrack, though, isn't it?
Very
Yes.
for
For
sure. Mega Geek, are you available to read from our old friend over at Mr. Brown Alliance's channel?
Sure. RRTNZ or Z, as the Americans would know. For was it $20? Is it New Zealand dollars?
New Zealand dollars.
Two
New
yeah.
Zealand dollars. Yeah. Hell for tomorrow on a break at work. R.I.P. Calculon. There you go. It's back.
Cynic,
It's back.
I think it's your turn.
Hey, I can read a name. Cool. Darth Supremacy for 5 real US dollars. Thanks, man. Speaking of Star Wars and Titanic, I feel like I'm one of the last loyal fans with even a shred of hope playing on the deck as the ship sinks.
Yeah.
The best part of Titanic is it's like a 3-second clip, but when the ship is when the ship is sinking, there's a dude that was like hanging on to something and he falls and you
Yeah.
hear him scream and then he hits the propeller and just does this.
Oh yeah, that was
So
I remember that. Yeah, that was
That was all done with models, That was a
Yes.
fucking huge model that they built to do that.
Most
It's
expensive
crazy.
set, I think, even still
Yeah.
today, ever constructed.
Yeah, crazy.
They don't even build sets anymore. It's all green screen.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I feel like Star Wars, if the Titanic is the metaphor, Star Wars is probably already under the water. I mean, does anybody else have any hope left that the Acolyte, for example, will save this show?
No.
Oh.
Empire was
No.
the only good Star Wars movie.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I kind of
No.
agree with you. I kind of agree with you. I do
A
like
New
the other
Hope was
two, but
good.
I think Empire was fucking fantastic.
So
Empire
good.
was fantastic. It's not the only good one, but it's certainly the best, I think. But no, much love for the original, and I even like the prequels for all the terrible dialogue.
I
and
like
acting.
the prequels too. Yeah.
Not surprised that you like the prequels.
Romeo Tango N-word Zeta is back for New
He's
Zealand
back.
550. Question for all: predictions for Oppenheimer and Mission Impossible 7, box office, quality of story, etc. Cheers. Going back to work now. Well, you'll be out work, so we could just not answer the question and you wouldn't know. But I think Oppenheimer. I think Oppenheimer will be good. I think Nolan will do a good job with it. He's restrained by source material. The story is already told. It's just him adapting it, and it's a really brilliant dramatic story. And Oppenheimer is a very fascinating and tragic character. So I hope that does well. I don't care about Mission Impossible, so I'll palm that off to someone else.
I think Mission Impossible is going to make more money than Oppenheimer. because
It'll hit
there
a
are
billion
more-
easy.
I agree.
No
Yeah, I
problem.
agree.
Yeah,
there are
probably
more
will.
people that want to see that film than Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, obviously. So, yeah. I can't wait to see
agree.
Mission Impossible 7.
Yeah, me neither.
I love
Me neither.
the Mission Impossible films.
Yeah,
I think
I
they're
agree.
better than the Bond films, definitely.
I could
For
watch
sure.
Tom Cruise run all day. I could watch a 2-hour film of him running, and I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Friend of the channel, Dark Hour, for $2. There is a conspicuous amount of bag on this stream. Yeah, bag pays and baggage claim.
Yeah, well, baggage left, didn't she?
Mega Geek is our resident.
How do you
black
pronounce
person.
that name? Claudia what?
Pimentel, I
Pimentel?
think.
For $4. Yeah, I find it even more insulting for black people. It's saying that they have to piggyback. Is that meant to be off other historical figures to have someone famous? Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the I was going to say the Woman King, but no, the Woman King's a different one that also did much the same thing. No, it's
Yeah.
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 Oh yes, yeah. That's humanized the slave traders in the name of progressivism. But no, I think that's basically correct. It's not as though there are not famous black people throughout history that you could do documentaries about, and there are great sort of ancient civilizations in sort of sub-Saharan Africa as opposed to North Africa, which you could make fascinating documentaries of, like
right.
Sumeria and the Ethiopia back when that was strong, and going even further back in time, some of the first civilizations ever arose there. But no, we have to make the Macedonian black.
Well, they're basically lying through their teeth saying that Cleopatra was black. Everybody knows she wasn't, and history has taught us that she wasn't. So I don't understand where this logic is coming from. Hollywood, I guess.
I think it's a combination of it's not just the message part, but I think this is massively just a laziness problem. Is nobody wants to put in the work to write not only a proper story with like a brand new character and whatnot, but it's also what's going to sell, because everything is just, it has to make money, otherwise there's no point in making it kind of deal. So it's easier to just race swap an existing IP and put that out, and we do literally a third of the work adapting it, then write a new screenplay, make sure it hits all these notes, make sure that it hits X amount at the box office and all this stuff. So
I was going to say this earlier too. Like, I find it kind of offensive as a black guy that
You're
apparently
black?
I was never supposed to identify with white like antagonists, because that
When
was
did
You've been
this
doing it wrong this whole time.
I know I've
Exactly.
I've been a racist this whole time, and it's weird to me that like they think I don't know. There's like this weird undertone of like if it's not the same color as you, you're not supposed to identify with the story or the struggle of the person. Like, there's never been a black person in history or fictional character that white people have connected with. That's just so odd to me. Like, kind of
Yeah.
racist. Yeah.
we're only
You've
allowed to
been-
connect if we're the same color, essentially.
You guys
Yeah.
have been
Pretty
hating
strange,
yourselves this whole time, and that's a white person job.
I'm just an Uncle Tom over here, I guess.
Because there was the similar claim was made about the education system in the United States, that for a while people were pushing the idea that you need to have more black history taught, and you need to have more black teachers telling it, because black kids can't relate to white people talking about white history. And it's a completely evidence-free claim. And for the first time ever, someone actually did a study on that, which came out, I think, last week, which found, lo and behold, that claim was complete bullshit, to the surprise of absolutely nobody. Yeah.
It's all bollocks, really.
Arsky, who's a friend of mine, and I know for a fact that he's too poor to be giving away money, so I'll be giving that back to you when I see you at the weekend.
79 pence.
Although you guys did have the last live stream you guys did together was really great. I listened to the whole thing. It was really good.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. I think I'll be back on his one on Wednesday, I think. So
good. I'll be listening to it. You guys are really good together. You guys should do more streams.
As soon as I have time, I will do my best.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Vex, would you like to read this one for us?
What?
Sure. Stumpy for £1.99.
Real money.
Real.
Real money.
There is no product. It's just a pyramid scheme. I don't even remember what this is in reference to.
It could be literally anything we've been talking about. Netflix,
Right.
Jada Pinkett Smith. Yeah, basically anything.
Stumpy's
Most
right, though.
of Hollywood is just a pyramid scheme at this point.
Yeah.
Who fancies this one? Matt, would you like it?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm the Matt you were talking about, but I'm going to go with it anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Tom Abella for $5 says LP is being too nice. That's you, Little Platoon. Is being too nice to James Cameron. Avatar
I have
2.
never been accused of this.
Avatar 2 has great CGI, but the actual cinematography is dull as all get out.
As all get out. What's that
Yeah.
mean?
Maybe it's an American thing.
You've
I
never
say it all
heard
the
that?
time.
Yeah, we say that all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy as
y'all
all
are
get out
weird.
that you don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
I've never heard this before.
No, nor have I. Not even in any movies I've heard this.
Well, you're being too nice to James Cameron because his cinematography sucks, apparently.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I said that it had great CGI, but the rest of it was shit. So
Yeah, you literally took a shit on it. Like, I don't.
You took a 3.5 hour shit on that thing.
Like Amber Heard on a bed.
it was blue and shiny, and everyone thought it was amazing. Claudie Pimentel for $1.99. Vex is racist.
I'm also a misogynist.
And she's proud.
What power?
Oh, dear. Yeah, no debate about that one. Cynic, would you like to take this one?
This is Johann Gambleputty, is that right?
I think
Gambleputty
so.
of Ulm. Is that a Polish, I think? The
think so.
memory-
Yes.
Yeah, a Polish $25. I'm not smart. This is just from last week. He sent us a super chat before. Most amusing about Cleopatra is the fact that at the same time, next to Egypt, you have, I can't pronounce that,
Amanarenas.
Amanarenas?
the
Nubian
queen of Kush, who were dark-skinned.
It's part
It's
one.
part one of two. She did successfully repel the Romans, ensuring the survival of her people for the next 3 centuries. But no, we need to stir the anger to prove a point.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Amanarenas, but I mean, if she successfully expelled the Romans, then she did a better job of it than Cleopatra did, because she shagged them and then they killed her. So,
Yeah. And speaking of Kush, guess what I'm having after this?
Fair out here.
Oh dear. Ginger Adventure for $5. I want to see the decline of the Habsburgs due to inbreeding. Yeah, there's an awful lot of inbreeding in virtually every monarchy that's ever existed anywhere in the world. But
I don't even know what this means. These people are too
Habsburgs
intelligent
were
for
a
me.
monarchic dynasty in sort of central
No idea.
Western Europe.
Really?
And yeah, they tended to marry among their own, just like the Ptolemaics, who always married their brothers and sisters. It's a good way of keeping rival claimants off of the throne, but it's a bad thing for genetic diversity, and you will eventually breed. Yeah, a monster, I guess. Bagface, would you like to take this one from Jonathan Frost?
Yeah, Jonathan Frost for $10. Nice. If Aquaman 2 doesn't have a scene with a baby Ruth in a pool, I'm going to be upset.
Baby Ruth.
It will. It will.
Claudia Pimentel for $4.99. Wonder Woman, the first one was good and made a lot of money as well.
First one was good.
It
I copied
was
First
good.
Man a lot, though.
Vex, why are you shaking your
75% of that was
head?
good.
It was mid as well. I'm sorry.
What? It was so good.
I'm actually with Vex this time. It was mid.
What? Oh, come on.
It was
What are
good
talking
though.
about?
You
It was
guys
still
think
good.
these
I
are-
enjoyed it.
Yeah, you
But,
think it's
yeah.
good because DC has put out nothing but shit, so it looks
No.
great next to
No.
that. But
When
these are
she-
all mediocre films at best.
No, when she goes across that what's that,
No
that
Man's
killing
Land.
field? Yeah, No
Yeah.
Man's Land. Thank you. That was so good. What are you talking about? And she's holding up the shield and everything, and then she does
Don't
the slide
care.
across the floor. Oh, you
Mid.
stop that.
Sorry.
Oh, you
But
stop that.
It
You
was a
stop
copy
that.
of Superman the movie. They copied a lot of stuff from Superman.
And
the
they copied
movie.
a lot of Captain America,
Captain
the First
America as
Avenger.
well. Yeah, so it was kind of a bit cheating, really. Let's face it. So
The best form of flattery is imitation. Okay.
Imitate better then is all I can say.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. It should have been a man.
Nebraska because for $10, hail all love y'all. Thank you. We
I
love
love
you
you
too.
too.
$10 for $10. We can
Nebraska
love you back.
because I love you too.
The Mega Geek will do many things for $10.
Absolutely.
He will love you in all the ways. Speaking of which, Maggie, would you like to read this one for
This
us?
is Silky Crayfish. 766 $2. Dark Knight objectively has a lot of plot problems.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but a lot of
does.
films have a lot of plot problems, don't
But
they?
it's still a good movie.
It's still a good
fun watch.
movie. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Matt, I think this one is for you.
Oh, yay, my favorite. Claudia Pimentel. I do get MatKat 83. Intelligent people who are pretentious are such a turnoff. Yeah, they
Is that
are.
like a personal
So
attack
annoying.
or something?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
I
that's
don't
Platoon
know.
in a
I
nutshell.
reckon it's aimed at Platoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Matt Cat's getting all the love today.
Yes, I am. MatKat is right about Aquaman. You all are nuts. That's so true. From Matt I.
didn't
What a
supercharge
handsome looking
himself.
man on there. Look at that. So cute.
It's only because he's got the same name as you.
It's the same
Yeah.
person. He
It's
supercharged
him.
himself.
I do have a twin brother. That's not him, though. That one's way more attractive. Look at that.
Yeah, 18 for, I want to say North Korean, but it's not. It's Norwegian, isn't it? Is it
Norwegian, yeah,
Krona? I
Norwegian,
think 20.
I think.
Tag for stream. Oh god, I can't speak foreign. Ale salmon deer and
Thank God you took that
Zheng.
I
Yes.
agree.
Well
Thank
said.
you.
Kajurg 18.
Or I'm sorry that happened. One of the two.
I don't know.
Cynic, would you like to take this one?
Sparks 7907 for the California 550. Yes. Platoon and Cynic, I want to hear your thoughts on Arcane's ending. It's rare we get so many good characters in one show. John Wick 2, 3, 4 is still awful.
No,
Yep.
yeah, I agree. Boo.
I agree. I have shamefully not yet finished Arcane. It's been on my list of things for years, basically, at this point. I started watching it and I thought, this is really good. And then I ran
It
out
is
of time and I never picked it up again. So I can't comment on that.
Likewise, I haven't watched it, so I can't comment
Oh,
on it
Arcane
either.
is good. You guys should pick it back up.
Fantastic.
That's why I hear.
It's really good.
I have nothing against Arcane. It's just,
Isn't that is that
I
a
just haven't
video
gotten
game?
to it yet.
Somebody told me that was a video game.
It
I
is
was
a
like,
video game
"What?"
adaptation.
We
Yeah.
League
Oh,
of
you-
Legends is the game.
Yeah, I never saw the video game, whatever that is. I only saw the anime, and I was like, this is so good.
It's very different. Isn't League of Legends like a sort of combat shootery online thing? I've never played it, but it's
Yep, yep.
you wouldn't anticipate something like Arcane being spun out of that property, but it
It's
was.
not
and-
story based at all, so they kind of had freedom to do whatever, and they actually did something good.
Yeah, it's really good. I like that. Is
Here's
is
hoping
season
they don't
2
have-
out? Is season
Not
2
yet,
out?
but
Not
it's in
yet.
production, I think.
Yeah, I'm
So
excited.
fingers crossed its popularity doesn't lead to it becoming shit like everything else.
Oh, I hope not. Yeah, cross the fingers.
Or Netflix cancels it. Who knows?
Yeah,
Netflix-
knock on
well,
wood.
Do
yeah,
that
if
with good
it's-
properties.
More
If
likely.
it's good, yeah, they will cancel it. That's,
Netflix has cancelled a lot of stuff recently, haven't they? They've cancelled a hell of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
yeah. Some
lot
of
of
it
stuff has been
deserved,
watched.
like that Resident Evil show.
Yeah.
That was special.
Literally.
Special ed.
Special ed. Yeah, it was quite something. It's that and oh no, National Treasure was Disney, but that was also really
Oh,
quite
that was
special.
terrible. Yeah, I heard.
It was it's like Willow. I watched it and genuinely enjoyed it because of how abysmal it was. It was really good fun. And
That's your job,
more
innit?
love for MatKat.
Yeah.
He can send this one to himself. Loving MatKat 83.
Loving MatKat 83. I love you too. Mwah, I love you.
One, she loves you so much. She only gave you $1.99.
That's okay. I'll take it. I'll take
I'll
it.
take it.
Pi 37664, 20 real pounds.
Yes.
I keep adblock on for the first time I view a video, but not for the rewatch. I think that's a good compromise between not wanting your time wasted on a video you might not
Yeah.
even like, and rewarding what are clearly good vids if you return. That seems fairly nice.
Here's
I
a
guess.
question: when it comes to the ad blocking thing, do you still get money if they don't play an ad during your video? See, that's why I
probably
like.
not.
Yeah, see, that's why I like, and I don't do the skip button. I watch the whole, even if it's 10 minutes, which is so annoying. Like if I hear one more ad about how to make this superfood that our ancestors made 5 years ago or 50 years ago or whatever, I'm like, oh, I don't care anymore. I just want to hit the skip button, but I'll just watch it because I'm like, all right, I guess they're getting some dollar bills out
So
of
if
it.
anything
I would
beyond
rather-
5 years is ancestors. So like,
I'd rather watch that. Mine keep telling me to take a ride on a Tic Tac, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah, we get different stuff. I get ones about gurus and then some kind of superfood. And I've gotten this one new one about fungus. Like you could something about fungus in your fingernails. And I was
Christ,
like,
what?
well, I'm guessing I'm watching this fungus fingernail thing. I don't know what this is coming up from my Google
that-
search, but I'm like, all right, let's watch this.
If you watch an advert like that, that means it's all connected, right? The ads when they play it. So
Yeah.
it's the algorithm, right? So when you watch something,
Yeah.
it connects to something else that's connected to that or has similar themes, right?
Yeah.
So what have you been
I-
watching to watch?
Well, I
fungus?
mean, I've been looking up a lot of gardening stuff. I mean, I have been gardening a lot lately because I'm
right,
trying to do
okay.
that whole thing. So that's the only thing I can connect it to because it's like some guru guy, some superfood thing that our ancestors used to make 1,000,000 years ago, and then some fungus in your fingernails, and I'm all like, all right, let's watch this fingernail ad. I guess
Fingernail.
fingernail. Yeah, I'm just like I don't know what this is about, but I'm watching it, and I'm like I'm not hitting that link to the website, but I'm gonna
I
watch
went
it.
through a phase. It was, I think, when the Ukraine war sort of started, and I was getting adverts on my own videos for Slavic brides, which was interesting. They've all disappeared since then, but I'm guessing there was just a huge import of single East European women. And some dodgy website was just flogging them off to desperate men. But apparently that is targeted at my core demographic. So
Nice.
I see you there, chat. Hello. If you want a Slavic bride, get in touch. I'll
Slavic pride.
cut a deal for you.
Next sponsorship deal.
Yeah.
I bet their body count is low.
Yes.
Or probably virgins. There you go, and we'll actually cook for you. So
Right? Yeah.
It's everything you want from a woman. Vex, would you like to take Claudia's super chat?
sure. Shout out as well to Claudia for donating or
Yeah,
dropping.
Claudia's
so much
awesome,
money.
man.
Makeda, sorry for the pronunciation, was a great Ethiopian queen. Has a great story with King Solomon.
Yeah.
Really?
Solomon himself.
Yeah.
As a follow-up to clarify from Claudia again for 199, thank you again. It's Makeda is the Queen of Sheba. Oh, I did not know that. I've heard of the Queen of Sheba.
People are just giving money away these days, aren't they? And she's given a lot.
Oh, Claudia's very nice, friend of the channel. Vex, it's you that said it was racist. The blackwashing, I agree with you. Yeah, blackwashing.
right on.
Blackwashing is racist, I would guess.
Yeah.
No, it's I think her previous one that we read about me being a racist was like not completely
yeah.
piped out. So she was clarifying. Thank you.
I
Claudia.
think
We-
both
yeah.
apply.
I think-
Both apply.
Yeah, we figured as much.
defending
Don't
it.
But
worry.
Vex is very racist.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
fine.
that what
You
that
should
is.
hear me when I play Xbox.
And I think rounding us off for the evening, from Ginger Adventure for $5, I can no longer identify with Peter Pan since he is no longer Ginger. Yeah, they did. It's another Ginger who's been race swapped. I completely
so
didn't.
true.
I didn't make that connection.
Yeah, Hollywood hates gingers. I never wanted to believe it, but it's totally true. It's
They're
totally
the whitest
true.
of the white. You gotta stay
Yeah.
away.
They really
Yeah.
are.
Wait. Did they really abandon all gingers because they made the recent Ariel a black ginger?
They did.
But is she really a ginger? I mean, her
Nah,
hair
she's
is
not.
not like
She's
it's not
culturally
like
appropriating
red.
from gingers.
Got weird eyes, isn't she? Weird.
With fish eyes. Can she communicate with fish as well, Matt? Just
No,
checking.
no,
lore-wise.
she
Okay.
can't. No. But Flounder talks. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
It looks
Al
horrifying.
Altieri did a video preview of the Little Mermaid film. She said one of the problems she thought with the trailer footage was like everything looks like it's all wide angle, and I thought, well, yeah, but look how far apart the character's eyes are. That's like this point of view shot. That's how she sees the world.
Again, no disrespect to the actress that's playing Ariel, but couldn't they have gotten someone better looking? I'm just.
You
She's
say that
actually a
about
very pretty
everyone,
girl,
dude.
to be honest.
No,
Sh-
just
I-
the,
yeah, I
just
have
the
to-
black girls. They just keep putting girls in that just are not good looking at all. I'm talking about Halle Berry good looking. I'm talking about, you know what I mean?
I do agree with Vex. I do think that Haley Bailey is very cute, and she is charming. I've seen her in interviews, and she seems like a very nice girl. It just I don't, and she's a great singer. I think she's got a beautiful voice. I just don't know how this movie is going to be. Like, it sounds like they're changing way too much for me, and The Little Mermaid is my favorite Disney movie, so I don't know. This might be too much. It might be too much.
Also, you think, you're casting the Little Mermaid. Maybe an actress who can't swim is not going to be top of your list.
Can she not swim?
No, she can't.
What? Oh man,
No,
that's crazy.
I'm not even memeing with the black people can't swim thing. She actually said she can't swim.
Man. So how did they shoot the dry for wet thing that they did with like Aquaman? I thought they shot underwater.
I'm pretty sure this whole movie is just a CG thing, and they filmed
course
maybe
it
or
is.
something like
see,
that,
it is.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
didn't know
and then
that.
Completely.
superimpose that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
sitting
man.
on a green rock in a green room. Disney magic for you.
Well, I got a stunt
Man.
person to actually go in the water, and that looks like her from behind. So they did that at least. But
Yeah.
most of it's all CGI. She's not underwater at all. I never thought she was underwater anyway. That would be stupid, wouldn't it? Let's face it. But, yeah.
For sure.
I said that was the
Yeah.
last one, but no, because inevitably when you say it's the last one, more come in.
Of course.
So, Marksman of 117B for $9.99. Great stream. I think the panel would be interested in. Everyone keeps recommending Unicorn Wars to me.
Yeah,
I've heard this
that's-
several
yeah,
times
every
now.
time. Yeah.
Animated film inspired by Apocalypse Now, Bambi, and the Bible. Teddy bears launch a holy war to genocide unicorns to reclaim home. I really want to watch this
Sounds
film.
good.
Is that a cartoon?
I know nothing about it beyond the
Or
premise.
do I? Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I've never seen it either, but now that you say it, I'm gonna watch it as soon as we get off here.
Yep.
I have just put it on a list.
I literally just typed it into my notes so I could make sure to watch it.
And finally, Hugo Ventura for 65. I'm going to take a guess and say that's Mexican dollars. I'm here since the first episode. The show is the best show in the universe, probably. Cheers from Mexico City. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Well done, Hugo.
Yes.
And as we almost take directly onto the 3-hour mark, we are, I think, finished. So this means the last thing to do is for you lovely people to plug whatever it is you're doing. So I'll go in clockwise. Mega Geek, where can we find you? What are you doing?
I'm not really doing anything, to tell you the truth.
It's the most enthusiastic plug for your own work I've ever heard.
Everybody that, well, I don't know if everybody knows, but yeah, I've got a channel called the Rebecca Gold Channel. It's got my web series on there. I got a movie on Netflix called Bad Day. And
Go see it.
yeah, I got this film called Killing Zone that I want people to watch. I'm trying to get them to watch it because it's my first movie. So, and it's all on my channel, Rebecca Gold Channel. So that's where you'll find my stuff. There you go.
Fantastic. Links for all of this will, of course, be in the description. Vex, your turn.
There was two super chats that came through just now.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Claudia again. Hello. Thank you for $4.99, Claudia. She sings beautifully, but she's playing the woke game and lost me completely. So I'm guessing that's... I want to say Halle Berry. It's not Halle Berry. It's Haley Bailey, is it?
Haley Bailey. It's Halle Bailey, but I love Haley Bailey. It just works.
You're right. It comes off the tongue.
It's like when you
Haley
say
Bailey.
Reese's Pieces. It's not Pieces, it's Pieces, but it's like Reese's Pieces.
And finally, for now, from Pi37664 for £2, all the Unicorn recommends are from Marksman. Lol. Yeah, Marksman must be a big fan of Unicorn, but it sounds like an amazing show. So
Yeah, I literally wrote on my notes. I'm gonna check it out.
try and
as soon as we're
report
done with
back
this.
next week. This time we'll let you know if we've watched Unicorn finally.
What is it on, though? What channel is it on?
I
Is it
don't
on
know.
Netflix?
Don't know. I can take a look.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
Unicorn, Bambi, Bible. What was the other thing it was inspired by? Bible.
Apocalypse Now?
Is it?
Apocalypse Now. Unicorn Wars. Is that the one?
Wars.
Is it a cartoon?
It's a
Apparently.
cartoon, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
And it is distributed by, I don't know, that's not helpful to me at all.
It's a film.
Release.
Netflix.
It says it's on YouTube for $3.99 Canadian.
Interesting. We'll see. Vex, I believe we were on to your plug.
I will be on a stream right after this, as Cynic had mentioned previously, where we're going to be reviewing Man of Steel. Other than that, I've got... Just follow me on Twitter. I post everything on Twitter at Vex_Electronica. I'll have a game review for Redfall dropping next weekend, and then there will be a Little Mermaid review coming out the weekend after.
Is it on your channel, the review for Man of Steel?
No, it's on Cannoli Sasquatch. That's the channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
I'll have to go to bed, but I'll have to see it tomorrow.
Tweet it out, and so will Vex, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'll retweet it right now. Hold on.
Ooh, and then I'll retweet you.
The low effort response. That's, yep. Bagface, what are you up to?
I just dropped a fat old super fancy, I spent a lot of ridiculous hours editing video about if the MCU can save itself. And I like to take shots at other YouTubers because a lot of people piss me off. So if you're into that, go check it out.
Watch that, guys.
I'm also still working on my Holes review, which is taking a long time because I just find that movie so good. So every line
The
I'm
Shia
like,
LaBeouf movie?
The Shia LaBeouf movie?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that movie. I love
like
that
if you
movie
haven't
so
watched
much.
it, it's I don't know. Every line I'm like, this is fucking amazing. This is so
that
funny.
book is amazing.
I read the book and I've watched the movie through a few times, so I'm gonna pump that out next week. So if you're looking for some nostalgia, get your holes filled, come on over.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I love that movie.
You know they're only saying that they like it because they now know that you'll shout them out in a video if they press you. It's an amazing threat to all over people.
I want to see Tetris.
You can attack me if you do an Aquaman review. You can attack me.
I'll show you out.
MatKat, then it's your turn. What's up with you?
Nothing special. I have Geek What? That's my YouTube channel. I also do a podcast with my sister. It's called BS Drunk Movie Reviews, where we just get drunk and we review movies. It's insane. Yeah, you guys, I don't have anything special coming up. I just I just cover shows and movies and stuff. So, but yeah. But I just want to say, watch everybody on here's stuff. They all do amazing work. I love all you guys' content. It's super fun.
Likewise.
Yeah, Vex, you're a funny dame. I love you. You're so good. Yeah.
She's rude as well.
And racist.
I was polite today. Okay, Ian, chill out.
And Rebecca Gold season 2. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait.
I hope so.
Oh my god, I cannot wait. I'm sitting with bated breath. It's gonna be so good.
Me too.
So, Movie Cynic, my co-host, besides raging at idiots in your comments section, what are you up to at the moment?
Yeah, I released my Guardians review yesterday, and that was a fucking mistake.
No, it
why?
was good. It was
No,
nice.
I am proud of the video. The response just tells me a lot about humans.
Ignore those assholes. Ignore them.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
It was a great review. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But in the next couple days, because I can't take a break, apparently, I'm releasing a massive collection of my Rings of Power videos in one giant, I don't know, compilation. But I'm re-editing it and everything and adding new stuff. And then, Little Mermaid will come out. So that'll round out May. And then June's going to be insane. So,
No rest for the wicked, eh?
no, I can't. I said 2-week break and I lied. 2-day
We're all
break.
better for it. We're all better for it. Don't worry.
Dear, oh dear.
Yeah, you take a longer holiday at the end of June, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's just me then. So I'm up to attempt. I think it's 38. I've lost count to get Peter Pan up. Hopefully that'll be tomorrow. Then Guardians 3, which I have to turn around very quickly because I'm behind on it. Mando season 3, even part 2. I need to do that at some point. Ideally before Little Mermaid, then it will be Little Mermaid. So hopefully video tomorrow, video either on Friday or Monday, and then one the following Monday. And then it'll be Mondays again going forward. So yeah, that's where to look for all this stuff. As ever, all of these links will be in the description on the re-upload, which will be on my second channel this time. So if you're not already subscribed to LostChord, go and do that. And I think that wraps it up. So yeah, thank you to the... Yes, sorry.
People who are donating money, could you please donate some more, because Little Platoon needs a widescreen flat TV.
Yeah, he's got this old CRT TV here.
Yeah.
True blacks. You got the true blacks in the CRT.
In my normal videos, I put trailer footage in it, and it's so fucking hard to get trailer footage to fit the dimensions for this TV. So yeah, I will upgrade this TV at some point in the near future and save myself the time. But yeah, well, thank you to the lovely panel. Thank you to our lovely chat as ever. We'll be back next Monday, and we will see you then. So until that point, bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Bye.
Bye, friends.